Chapter 21-24. Of course, this was just Lin Yi's guess. Whether this extreme vigor Golden Dan could fulfill Lin Yi's vision was yet to be verified. What do you want? I want the extreme vigor Golden Dan in your hands. Lin Yi looked at Tang Yu and asked. The hidden Tang family actually had a pill heart? This made Lin Yi a little surprised. It seemed like the hidden Tang family had a strong foundation. It was not surprising that the hidden Tang family had a pill. He relied on the hidden Right family and the Heavenly Elixir sect. Naturally, he had more advantages than the other hidden families. This extreme vigor Golden Dan was given to him by the hidden Right family. Using it as a wager meant that the hidden Tang family did not value it. There should be a lot of it. Since the Lin brothers want it, then I'll give it to you. Tang Yu smiled and said, the small rejuvenating pill in Lin brothers' hands. Can you give it to me? Oh, I'll give it to you. Lin Yi was speechless. This hidden Right family always bet on things like small rejuvenating pill, meridian unblocking pill, and foundation building pill. It was obvious that they did not want to give Lin Yi anything good. They were worried about Lin Yi. However, Lin Yi's action made the Right family and Qin Zi slightly stunned. Lin Yi actually used a small rejuvenating pill to exchange for an extreme vigor Golden Dan. Was Lin Yi sick? The extreme vigor Golden Dan and the small rejuvenating pill required materials of similar value. However, the small rejuvenating pill was a Huang level 2 pill, while the extreme vigor Golden Dan was a Huang level 1 pill. The value of the two could not be compared. Was Lin Yi sick? Using a Huang level 2 pill to exchange for a Huang level 1 pill? If Lin Yi needed the extreme vigor Golden Dan, then it was also unreasonable. Who would use it? Exchanging a Huang level 2 pill for a Huang level 1 pill? If he wanted to exchange, he should use something else, right? Besides, Lin Yi was an alchemist. He could refine pills by himself. There was no need to exchange at all. That was why Lin Yi's actions were baffling. Old Right Kanzi and Old Tang Kanzi had specifically informed Old Right Kanzi to place a bet on this first-grade extreme vigor golden pill. Their purpose was to make sure that after Lin Yi won, Lin Yi would like to have a look at Lin Yi. Wasn't Lin Yi unwilling to use the pill as a wager? Then he would definitely give him the pill. Of course, using a first-grade pill as a wager was already a little against the rules of the Hidden Noble House Summit. Although the level of the wager wasn't clearly stated, everyone's wager was about the same. Wasn't it a little inexcusable to take out a wager that was lower than the others? However, this time, surprisingly, no one objected because everyone had seen Lin Yi win so many matches in a row. They had long thought that the winner would be Lin Yi's family. This arena was originally agreed to be House Yu's victory, and the Golden Clock sect and the other hidden houses would throw the match. However, with Lin Yi's participation, no one threw the match. Even if they threw the match or not, it would still be Lin Yi's victory. They might as well compete in strength. As for the hidden House Yu's wager, Lin Yi didn't care about it all. It was just a jade pillow that could support Han Lian's cultivation. It could allow the practitioner to consolidate their realm even when they were asleep. This thing was simply a support item. In a place with little qi, it had little use. It was a basic item. Lin Yi, on the other hand, entered the jade space every day to train Han Lian. This pillow was useless to him. Moreover, what good could it be if House Yu was willing to take out? After trading with Tang Yu, Lin Yi prepared to leave with his winnings, with Han Tianba and Han Xiaopa following behind him. The three of them left the training grounds, leaving behind a group of sighing old Kanzi, and the head of the sect. This Lin Yi used a second-level pill to exchange for a first-level pill. What's the meaning of this? After Lin Yi left, old Kanzi and Right Kanzi couldn't help but ask. This was the question they had been holding in for a long time. Who knows? Old Kanzi and Right Kanzi found it strange as well. He also felt that Lin Yi's actions were a little strange. Yu, do you know? Me? Tang Yu shook his head and smiled bitterly. To be honest, I was just giving it a try. I didn't expect Brother Lin Yi to agree to it. But he did. It surprised me. That's strange. Could it be that Lin Yi urgently needs this extreme energy golden pill? Old Kanzi asked curiously. But doesn't he know how to refine it himself? Maybe, I think it's because of Tang Yun's sis. Maybe Lin Yi bro gave Tang Yun's sis face and let us exchange something good? Tang Yu hesitated and said, "Is that so?" Old Kin was surprised, but he shook his head. Because of Tang Yun? Then he didn't go easy on us in the previous matches. I know. Yu, maybe it's because of you. As long as you are in the match, Lin Yi will look at us differently. But without you, he treated us the same. I see. Tang Yu smiled bitterly. Although he was suspicious, he felt that Lin Yi didn't seem to be very close to him. At least he didn't say anything unnecessary. Forget it. Who cares what Lin Yi thinks? Old Kin the right frowned. Old Kin the Tang, Old Kin of the right. Could it be that you want to repair your relationship with Lin? That's naturally impossible. Old Kin said, "We're on the same side now. I just want Ule Kin to use Lin Yi and get some good stuff out of him. That's more like it." Old Kin Z and Old Kin Z nodded. "All right, disperse. I'm going to go back and study tomorrow's match." Lin Yi had consumed a lot of qi. Naturally, he needed to go back and recover. Although Lin Yi had released his power, it wasn't too safe here. If these people attacked him together, or if Diamond Drill lost his mind and fought with Lin Yi, then Lin Yi wouldn't have the ability to deal with it. And so, of the 36 stratagems, retreating was the best. Lin Yi decided to return to his temporary residence first. "Boss, it's actually another champion. I'm both nervous and looking forward to tomorrow's duel challenge." "Boss, do you think I'll cause you any trouble?" Han Xiaopa asked non-stop as soon as he returned to his temporary residence. "No, we'll talk about this tomorrow. I'm tired. I want to rest for a while," Lin Yi said. He sat cross-legged on the bed and activated the second stage of the art of dragon mastery. He quickly recovered the qi in his body. "Okay, boss, you rest." Han Xiaopa quickly nodded and said. In the blink of an eye, it was the last day of the summit. The Duel Arena Challenge was the last match of the Hidden Aristocratic Family Summit. It was said that there would be an additional match after this match, but the details had not been announced yet. With the hidden house of Han's information channels, they were unable to find out anything. Chapter 21-25. Xiaopa, for today's duel, let's just treat it as joining in on the fun. If we can win, then we'll win. If we can't, then don't force yourself. Lin Yi said, "These days, we've won so many matches in a row. I'm afraid that the other hidden houses and sects will do something to us. They won't dare do anything to me for now, but we can't not let them make a move on you. If they do, just admit defeat. It's just a match. We can afford to lose." "I understand, boss. Thanks for the reminder." Han Xiaopa's heated mind calmed down in an instant. Yes, he'd won a lot of matches in the past couple of days, but that was all thanks to Lin Yi's hard work, and it had nothing to do with him. Lin Yi was confident that he could win today's duel, but Han Xiaopa wasn't. He had leveled up to an Earth-class early phase, and had been practicing Lin Lian's Forest Thousand Changes for the past 2 days. However, he could only barely activate the first form, and wasn't very familiar with it yet. So with his current strength, he'd most likely be a punching bag once he went up on stage. When the time came, others would take advantage of this weakness and bypass Lin Yi to deal with him. At first, Han Xiaopa's thought was to grit his teeth and persevere no matter what, but Lin Yi's words made him understand that he couldn't be hot-headed. Otherwise, he'd be at a disadvantage. If someone killed him in the ring, there'd be no place for him to reason. Han Tianba smiled in relief. He could tell that Han Xiaopa was a little hot-headed yesterday, but he didn't want to dispel his enthusiasm. But now that these words came from Lin Yi's mouth, Han Xiaopa understood a few things. Is the head of the hidden house Han here? The first match of the day, the duel, is about to begin. Old Kin, please bring your contestant, Kin Z, and the wager to the meeting room to register and place their bets. Today's duel is a duel, so the wager is also double. The Zhao House's disciple, Kin Z, said. Double? Lin Yi's lips curled into a cold smile. It seemed like these hidden aristocratic families were waiting to make a comeback in this competition. It seemed that they had considered Han Xiaopa as the weakest link. If he could defeat Han Xiaopa in the arena, then no matter how strong Lin Yi was, it would be useless. After all, the rule of the Duel Arena Challenge was that if one of them lost or admitted defeat, then both of them would lose. Boss, it looks like they're prepared. They're planning to get their capital back at the end. After Han Xiaopa calmed down, he also realized the sinister plot of the others. It doesn't matter. It's just a double. So what if I lose? We've won enough. Lin Yi smiled and said indifferently, in comparison, this is just a drop in the ocean. You're right. We've won so many matches. Losing this little bit is nothing. Han Xiaopa said, at first, our hidden Han family's plan was to lose all the matches except for the racing competition. It's already very good, but the result is completely unexpected. It doesn't matter to us. As long as Mr. Lin thinks it's okay to give up, then there's no problem. Han Tianba laughed. The three of them chatted and laughed as they arrived at the hidden Zhao family's meeting hall. Originally, the hidden aristocratic families Kanzi and Hanzi thought that they had raised the stakes. Moreover, it was obvious that Lin Yi was at a disadvantage in this competition. Why were Lin Yi's trio still chatting and laughing? Could it be that they had some trump card? However, the trio had already arrived, and it wasn't convenient for them to discuss or research. Hence, after registering the participant list and wagers, old Qin Zhao announced, this match is a dual arena challenge. The rules are similar to yesterday's dual arena challenge, and no exceptions will be made. The rules are similar to yesterday's dual arena challenge, and there must be 2 people on each side. Golden Bell Gates Chi Quan. At this point, the atmosphere was a little sad. The head of the Golden Bell Gate, Diamond Drill, did not come to watch the competition today, which showed how heavy his heart was. His younger brother, Han Zi, was injured. How could he participate in the competition? Old Kanzi Zhao paused for a moment, then continued. Next, there are 8 families and sects left. The top 4 will be decided by drawing lots, and then the top 2 and 3rd place will be decided by drawing lots. The final winner will be decided from among the top 2. Just like yesterday, if you don't want to participate in the competition, you can mention it now. Otherwise, in the arena, everyone has their own destiny. Unless one party voluntarily admits defeat, it is entirely possible to put their opponent on the ground. Since it is a dual arena challenge, as long as one of the contestants from both teams gives up or admits defeat, the entire team will be the loser. In addition, no fangs or weapons are allowed in the competition. As for the other rules, there are no rules. After the top 3 have been decided, for the sake of fairness, the next 4 contestants can be given a chance to challenge. However, the person being challenged must not be their previous opponent. For example, if you have already lost to your opponent in the previous elimination round, you can't choose to challenge them again. In view of the special circumstances of the Qinshan Gate, their battle style is 1 man and 1 beast. Man and beast is 1. Therefore, only 1 person is allowed to bring 1 spiritual beast into the arena, which is considered a 2 versus 2 battle. Does anyone have any objections? This rule was the same as yesterday, and it seemed very fair. Therefore, no one raised any objections, including Lin Yi's side. All right, since no one has any objections, then the competition will begin. We will now draw lots to decide the order of the competition. Old Kanzi Zhao nodded and said. The result of the drawing of lots surprised Lin Yi. Lin Yi's first opponent for the top 4 was actually the 2 brothers, Pai Shan and Pai Hai. This result made Lin Yi frown. Pai Shan and Pai Hai had lived together since they were young, and they did not fight for the position of the family head. Instead, they were the 2 brothers who had a relatively good relationship in the hidden aristocratic families. The 2 of them together gave Lin Yi some pressure. Of course, Lin Yi's pressure wasn't because he was afraid of the 2 brothers, but because of Han Xiaopa. If Lin Yi fought 1 versus 2, he naturally wouldn't be afraid of the 2 brothers. But he was afraid that the 2 would let him go and fight Han Xiaopa. Boss, what strategy are we going to use for this round? Han Xiaopa asked worriedly as he looked at the 2 brothers from House Pai, who were smiling cunningly. When you go up later, just hide behind me. There's no need to fight. Just hide however you want. Lin Yi sighed and said. Chapter 21-26. Pai Hai was only at the peak early phase of Earth class, while Pai Shan was only at the early phase of Earth class. the same level as Han Xiaopa. On top of that, he was a physical practitioner, which made him slightly weaker. Han Xiaopa was no match for his opponent. It's okay, just be careful of Pai Jihai. Pai Jishan is the same level as you, so you're evenly matched. Between him and Jihai, you'd rather be beaten by Pai Jishan than Jihai. Lin Yi said, Okay, I understand, boss. Han Xiaopa nodded. Pai Jihai was still holding a grudge for admitting defeat in the single arena, so he wanted to make a comeback in this duel. Elder Pai. Lin Yi stopped in his tracks and turned to look at Elder Pai. What is it? Elder Pai saw Lin Yi's eyes, and his heart skipped a beat, but he pretended to be calm. Nothing, I just wanted to tell you one move, only one move. Lin Yi smiled. Don't think that you've won just because you beat Han Xiaopa. I can take out 2 people in one move when I first get on the stage. Are you threatening me? Old man Pai's face changed. He had discussed this with Pai Jishan and Pai Jihai. Pai Jihai was confident that he could take out Han Xiaopa in one hit. That way, no matter how strong Lin Yi was, he'd have to admit defeat. Plus, from the way Lin Yi and Ma Dashan fought, it was clear that Lin Yi was very arrogant. He was the type to wait for his opponent to make the first move. This way, they could take advantage of the fact that Lin Yi hadn't made a move yet. This was why Pai Jishan and Pai Jihai were so confident. However, Lin Yi changed his strategy this time. He wanted to fight the moment he got on the stage. Elder Pai didn't expect Lin Yi to have the same idea. He couldn't help but worry. It's not a threat, but you can interpret it however you want. I'm just giving you a friendly reminder. Lin Yi said lightly, I don't want you to be as brainless as Diamond Drill. This. Old Pai's expression changed. Pai Jishan and Pai Jihai, who were about to go on stage, stopped as well. This was a blatant threat, but Pai Jishan and Pai Jihai couldn't think of anything else other than being annoyed and frustrated. If Lin Yi said it was one move, then it was one move. Putting aside the fact that Lin Yi had once killed 3 Earth rank experts with one move, Lin Yi's martial technique on the arena yesterday was enough to kill 2 people in a second. Don't think I don't know what you're thinking. Targeting Han Xiaopa? Very well. Let's see who's faster. Lin Yi said faintly. Who? Elder Pai took a deep breath, but he was still the head of a house. He had a certain level of tolerance and shrewdness. Even though Lin Yi's threat made him lose face, and it was hard to make a choice, he still made his choice. Elder Pai wasn't an idiot. This double elimination tournament was agreed upon by the Hidden House Shuang. No matter how strong the Hidden House Pai was, they could only get 2nd or 3rd place. Plus, with the Qian Shan sect, who knew if they would suddenly rise up again. Plus, with Lin Yi's side, the Hidden House Pai's chances of getting into the top 3 were very slim. So rather than being pushed out of the top 3, they might as well surrender now. After all, Lin Yi had already said this much. If the Hidden House Pai didn't come to their senses, then they'd be dead meat. If they died, people would laugh at him and say that he didn't know what was good for him. Lin Yi had already warned them, and they still wanted to fight? Wasn't there something wrong with them? Since Mr. Lin has already said this, then we, the Hidden House Pai, can only surrender. Elder Pai smiled faintly. But the one we're afraid of is you, Mr. Lin, not Han Xiaopa. If we're talking about instant kills, we can kill one on the arena, but we don't want to lose 2 just because of one. That's not worth it. Plus, there's no point. Lin Yi nodded. That's for the best. I have a lot of enemies here, and I hope you'll make the right choice, Elder Pai. Don't regret it. Mr. Lin, I've said it before. The hatred between us is built on the Shao family. There's no big conflict between us. I'll make sure that Shao family doesn't mess with you. We won't have any conflicts of interest in the future, so why talk about enemies? Elder Pai laughed. He was just a physical practitioner at the early phase of Sky Class. Lin Yi could take a full power strike from a spiritual practitioner at the early phase of Sky Class, so he might be able to take a hit from Elder Pai. As long as Lin Yi could take it, then he could retaliate. That would be devastating. Elder Pai knew that he wouldn't have been able to survive Lin Yi's attack yesterday, so it didn't matter if he felt wronged or not, or if Lin Yi and his lackeys had taken out a bunch of masters in the past. All he could do was hold his nose and bear with it. This was the world of practitioners. The strong ruled. Without strength, you had to compromise, or else you'd be killed. That's good. Lin Yi nodded. Pai Shan, Pai Hai, just admit defeat. Elder Pai said to his two grandsons. Admitting defeat in front of Mr. Lin isn't something to be ashamed of. Acting tough in front of Mr. Lin is. Yes, Pai Shan and Pai Hai didn't like it, but they knew that Elder Pai was speaking the truth. They had the ability to kill Han Xiaopa, but Lin Yi could kill them as well. It wasn't worth it at all. They might as well admit defeat. So, Pai Shan and Pai Hai cupped their fists. We're no match for Mr. Lin Yi. We admit defeat. But the Hidden House Pai's words were very artistic. They said that they would admit defeat to Lin Yi, not to the Hidden House Han. Although the result was the same, the meaning was different. Lin Yi didn't expose them, and Han Xiaopa didn't care. House Han was already on Lin Yi's side. So what? You can't eat the grapes and say that the grapes are sour. You want to be Lin Yi's lackeys, but he won't accept you. It's okay. When you have a powerful boss, Han Xiaopa, will also admit defeat. Han Xiaopa didn't feel ashamed at all. Instead, he felt proud. Elder Pai was nice to Lin Yi, but not to Han Xiaopa. He snorted and left the stage with Pai Shan and Pai Hai. Chapter 21-27. The other two arenas were still fighting intensely, and the winner had already been decided. This was quite surprising, but it was understandable that the Hidden House Pai had admitted defeat. No one called them cowards. If you wanted to call them cowards, why don't you go challenge Lin Yi? Boss, you're amazing. I was worried that I wouldn't be able to do it, but with just a few words from you, the Hidden House Pai admitted defeat. They were so cocky before, but they were just paper tigers. Han Xiaopa said excitedly. It's just luck. They insisted on fighting. Who knows, you might have gotten hurt. Lin Yi said, if I get hurt, they'll just die. As long as they're not stupid, they know what's important. Han Xiaopa didn't care. Lin Yi smiled. He didn't comment, nor did he explain further. After about half an hour, the results of the other matches were out as well. The top four were the Hidden House Han, the Hidden House Zhuang, the Hidden House Yu, and the Qian Mountain Sect. The Hidden House Yu looked at the list of the top four and wanted to give up. These old men weren't idiots. Elder Yu saw that Hidden House Pai met Lin Yi and immediately admitted defeat. If they were unlucky enough to draw Lin Yi, then they'd just admit defeat. If they drew someone else, then they'd give it a try. The top four battles began after a short break. The order of drawing was out as well. Hidden House Han against Hidden House Zhuang. Hidden House Yu against Qian Mountain Sect. Lin Yi didn't care about this result, but the Hidden House Yu took in a cold breath. The Qian Mountain Sect's one-man and one-beast formation wasn't favored by the old men of the Hidden Houses. After all, they felt that a man and beast working together wasn't as good as a human working together. So, man and beast should be the easiest to deal with. Taking down one would be a win, but the battle between House Yu and Qian Mountain Sect made Hidden House Yu realize the danger. The combination of one man and one beast from the Qian Mountain Sect wasn't just for show. Their teamwork was even better than that of humans. The scariest thing was that the yellow-class middle-stage spiritual beast could actually fight against an Earth-class late-stage expert. With one slap, it could slap the Earth-class late-stage expert from the Hidden Yu family to the ground. Different spirit beasts' ranks and strengths didn't have much of a relationship. Some spirit beasts might not even be a match for a golden-class human at heaven-class, but some spirit beasts at golden-class already had very powerful battle techniques. This spirit beast from the Qianshan sect was one of them. But Lin Yi wasn't a stranger to this. Back in the tomb, the spirit beast guarding the tomb was also a yellow-class spirit beast, but it was able to beat Boss Yu to the point where he couldn't even fight back. In front of General Wei Wu, however, it was like an obedient baby. The hierarchy in the world of spirit beasts was completely different from that of human cultivators. The two Zhuang brothers had heard of how ferocious and powerful Lin Yi was. During the single arena challenge, his opponents kept surrendering, and today, the two Pai brothers surrendering as well. This made Zhuang Niadeo and Zhuang Niapeo very confused and unconvinced. Was this Lin Yi really that strong? One had to know that the two Zhuang brothers weren't weak either. They had been training in joint attacks since they were young. To put it bluntly, with their current joint attack strength, they wouldn't even be at a disadvantage against an early-stage Sky class master. It wouldn't be an exaggeration to say that they were invincible under Sky class. So when they first heard of Lin Yi's name and his battle record, they didn't care. After drawing Lin Yi, they didn't say much and rushed to the stage, waiting for Lin Yi to come up. Before, Zhuang Niadao and Zhuang Niapeo didn't know who Lin Yi was because they only appeared during the double arena challenge. They didn't watch any of the previous matches. Naturally, they didn't know that Lin Yi was Ling Yi from the Ice Palace test. Plus, during the match between Lin Yi and the Hidden House Pie, the Hidden House Pie surrendered. Lin Yi didn't even go up the stage. Naturally, they didn't see Lin Yi. Where is Lin Yi? Come up and accept the challenge from the two brothers of House Zhuang. Zhuang Niapeo said in a very imposing manner. Lin Yi and Han Xiaopao went to the toilet and didn't hear Zhuang Niapeo's arrogance. The battle hasn't started yet. Don't be noisy. Old Zhao frowned. These two brothers, Zhuang Niapeo and Zhuang Niapeo, had just eliminated the Hidden House Zhao's disciple. Although old Zhao hated Lin Yi, he didn't have a good impression of these two brothers. Brother, I think this Lin, he doesn't live up to his name. Later, you and I will work together to hold him back, then find a chance to attack that Han Xiaopao. Zhuang Niapeo said, of course, us two brothers working together will be invincible. Zhuang Niapeo was also very confident. Previously, the two of them were invincible, sweeping away the two disciples of House Zhao. It was basically a complete victory, so he was very confident. That Lin Yi, is he coming or not? If he doesn't come, it's equivalent to admitting defeat. Zhuang Niapeo said impatiently. Admit defeat? Huh. Lin Yi didn't say anything, but Han Xiaopao laughed coldly. If you know what's good for you, then admit defeat. Don't lose your life. Don't blame me for not reminding you. Once my boss makes a move, any expert can be eliminated. Huh? Any expert can be eliminated? Us two brothers working together. We're invincible under heaven rank. Let's see how he'll eliminate us. Zhuang Niapeo laughed coldly. Oh, is that so? Lin Yi and Han Xiaopao walked over together, looked at the two brothers, and laughed coldly. What do you mean by invincible under heaven rank? When I was in mystic rank, I've already killed two people who claim to be invincible under earth rank. Now that I'm in earth rank, I'll kill two people who claim to be invincible under heaven rank to practice. Bulsh asterisk Tia? Zhuang Niapeo wanted to say Bulsh asterisk T, but when he saw Lin Yi's face, he immediately froze on the spot, as if he was electrocuted, and couldn't say a word. Niapeo, what's wrong? Zhuang Niaoqiang was confused when he saw Zhuang Niapeo. He followed Zhuang Niapeo's gaze, and when he saw Lin Yi, he shivered and said subconsciously, Masterling. Ling Yi had left too deep of an impression on the two brothers. Zhuang Niapeo was a heaven-defying existence, and even he was crippled by Lin Yi. How could the two of them compete with Ling Yi? Zhuang Niapeo thought that even now, the two of them might not be Zhuang Niapeo's match, right? The chrysanthemum art of wasp absorption was a heaven-defying existence. It sucked away the chi of others who could withstand it. But Ling Yi could, and not only did he withstand it, he even crippled Zhuang Niapeo. Chapter 21-28. And the rumors about Lin Yi made Zhuang Niaoqiang realize that Lin Yi was not a good person. He was able to cripple the strongest person under Earth class when he was Mystic class. Could he not cripple anyone under Heaven class when he was in Earth class? What's more, this Lin Yi might be hiding his true strength. He might be a Heaven class master. Thinking about this, Zhuang Niapeo and Zhuang Niapeo looked at each other. They could see the fear in each other's eyes. The arrogance from before suddenly turned into silence. If only one of them was afraid, it would be better, the other would be cheering for them. But now both of them were afraid. This was the most fatal weakness of fighting in the ring. You too. Are you in a hurry to die? The Ice Palace trial didn't allow you to kill people. This is the life and death arena. Lin Yi looked at Zhuang Niaoqiang and Zhuang Niapeo and said, Since you're on stage, don't go down. Master Ling, don't attack first. Zhuang Niapeo quickly jumped down from the stage as if his tail was stepped on. I'm below the stage. You can't attack me. Yes, Master Ling. Zhuang Niaoqiang also jumped down and said, we admit defeat. According to the rules, after we admit defeat, you can't attack us anymore. This turn of events made everyone dumbfounded. They didn't expect these two brothers to be so stupid. They were arrogantly boasting on stage before, but now that Lenny was here, they immediately jumped down from the stage and admitted defeat, as if they were afraid that Lin Yi would kill them once he got on stage. However, Zhuang Niapeo and Zhuang Niaoqiang were not ashamed at all. Instead, they felt that they had done the right thing. Oh, since you admit defeat, then forget it. Lin Yi said, Old Man Zhao, you can announce the results. The Hidden Han family has emerged as one of the top 2 contenders. Old Man Zhao announced. What made him speechless was that Lin Yi had not fought a single match since yesterday. All his opponents had admitted defeat, and admitted defeat again. Boss, you are really impressive. The second brother of the Zhuang family was so arrogant before, but when you came, he immediately admitted defeat. It's so funny. Han Xiaopa said. I fought with their boss before, Lin Yi said faintly. Didn't they also have a boss? No wonder they were so arrogant. What happened to their boss? Han Xiaopa hurriedly asked. He's disabled, Lin Yi said. Crippled? Boss, you didn't do it, did you? Han Xiaopa exclaimed. If not me, why are they begging for mercy? Lin Yi laughed. I see. I was wondering why these two arrogant bastards suddenly became so weak. Han Xiaopa nodded. When the old man of the hidden house Shuang heard that Lin Yi was the Ling Yi from the test, he didn't have any opinion on Niapo and Niapo admitting defeat. He completely agreed with their decision. Since Lin Yi was so strong, there was no need to fight him head-on. On the other side, the battle between the Hidden House Yu and the Qianshan sect had come to an end as well. The Hidden House Yu had received orders from Elder Yu to preserve their strength, and so after going up the stage and realizing that there was no chance of winning, they gave up. They didn't want to risk their lives and save their strength to fight against the Zhuang brothers. Originally, the Hidden House Yu's plan was for the two brothers to waste a lot of their strength in the battle with Lin Yi. It would be best if they got injured. This way, they could easily defeat the two brothers and get third place. But now, it seemed like this idea wasn't feasible. The two brothers were arrogant before, but after that, they pretended to be weak. What kind of logic was this? The disciples of the Hidden House Yu didn't know about the situation and thought that the two brothers were playing some tricks. They didn't dare to be slow and fought with the Qianshan sect for a bit before admitting defeat. They were ready to fight the Hidden House Zhuang disciples for third place. The last battle for the championship, Hidden House Han against the Qianshan sect. I hope this will be the most exciting battle in this battle. Both sides are elites. I hope you won't end up losing like this. After all, everyone has high hopes for you. Old Man Zhao didn't want the Qianshan sect to admit defeat again. If that happened, Lin Yi would get the championship too easily. He didn't mind saying some things to the Qianshan sect. Admitting defeat is the act of a coward. We, the Qianshan sect, will never admit defeat. The one who spoke was the direct disciple of the Qianshan sect's headmaster. His name was Wujin Dao, and he was one of the best in the younger generation of the Qianshan sect who had formed a contract with the spirit beast. He already had a certain level of communication with the spirit beast, and their teamwork was considered to be very close. Of course, this kind of spiritual beast contract was actually established by living together day and night. It was not forcefully established. It was actually a very difficult thing to obtain the recognition of a spiritual beast. One must have enough patience and make the spiritual beast have a good impression of him. Only then would he be able to establish the contract step by step and fight together. This Wujin Dao was one of the stronger ones. He could control a golden class, mid-phase spirit wolf. This spirit wolf was extremely ferocious, and normal Earth class late phase peak experts wouldn't dare to fight it head-on. This was also Wujin Dao's pride. Last time, he brought the spirit wolf to participate in the Ice Palace trial. He wanted to shine, but he didn't expect that his own strength exceeded the requirements of the competition and was eliminated prematurely. This was a humiliation for him. So, this time, the Hidden House Summit was full of energy, preparing to make a name for themselves. The Qinshan Sect's agreement was that they would win the last additional battle. But now, the situation was already messed up, and it wasn't the one-person-to-one battle situation anymore. With the addition of Lin Yi, who would win would depend on their own strength. So, the Qinshan Sect also wanted to take back a champion in this duo arena challenge. When Wu Jindao finished speaking, the spirit wolf beside him also howled in agreement. Ayo, boss, this guy doesn't seem to admit defeat. Han Xiaopa asked worriedly. Let's see. If it doesn't work, then we'll admit defeat. Lin Yi said. He didn't really care about winning or losing. Participating in the competition was nothing more than getting some good treasures back. No, we've already reached this stage. I can't admit defeat. Even if I have to grit my teeth and persevere, I have to persevere. Han Xiaopa gritted his teeth and made his decision. Chapter 21-29. But in terms of time, it was too late. The rules were announced on the spot. Lin, he didn't have the time to go back to get General Wei Wu. Even if he sent someone to deliver it, it would be too late. Both sides are ready. Get into position and get ready for the match. Elder Zhao waited for Lin Yi and Han Xiaopa to get on the stage and announced, 3, 2, 1, begin. Thus, following Old Man Zhao's words, the final battle for the championship had begun. Wu Jindao didn't give Lin Yi the chance to condense the Qi Bomb. As soon as the battle started, he and the Spirit Wolf rushed towards Lin Yi and Han Xiaopa. Wu Jindao's opponent was Han Xiaopa, and the Spirit Wolf's opponent was Lin Yi. This situation was the most sensible and difficult for Lin Yi to deal with. Wu Jindao was at the early stage of Earth class when he participated in the Ice Palace trial. Now he was at the peak of the early stage of Earth class. His leveling speed wasn't fast. It seemed like the Qian Mountain faction focused on communicating with spirit beasts. Their personal improvement speed wasn't as heaven-defying as those hidden families. Lin Yi frowned. He couldn't let Wu Jindao hit Han Xiaopa. Even if he was at the peak of the early stage of Earth class, it would be a one-sided fight against Han Xiaopa. Thus, in a hurry, Lin Yi channeled his inner force and struck out with the second form of what Forest Thousand Changes. Lin Yi's other martial arts couldn't hit both of them in one move unless it was a Qi Bomb. But this what Forest Thousand Changes was different. One punch from his second form was equivalent to 2 punches. Boom, boom. Lin Yi's body rushed towards Wu Jindao and the Spirit Wolf. Strong Qi exploded and condensed on Lin Yi's fist. It transformed into 2 fists and smashed towards Wu Jindao and the Spirit Wolf. Originally, Wu Jindao thought that if Lin Yi wanted to attack, he could only choose one. It was either him or the Spirit Wolf. The Spirit Wolf had thick skin and flesh, so normal people couldn't get close to it. If Lin Yi went around the Spirit Wolf to attack Wu Jindao, then Wu Jindao could communicate with the Spirit Wolf and have him attack Han Xiaopa instead. This was the benefit of establishing a tacit understanding with spirit beasts. They could communicate at any time. However, Wu Jindao didn't expect that Lin Yi's one punch would turn into 2. Was there something wrong with his eyes? He didn't believe that Lin Yi's one punch could really become 2 punches. One real and one fake was a common situation in martial arts, but one turning into 2 was unheard of. It wasn't that Wu Jindao was ignorant, but he had never heard of it before. Not to mention him, even Elder Han, who possessed the Mu Lin Sun Thousand transformations, thought that this martial art was fake before Lin Yi used it. Only one punch was real, and the rest were illusions to confuse people. Only after Lin Yi used it did he realize that the one punch turned into 2 or even 3 punches. Therefore, since Wu Jindao thought this way, he made a decision in his heart. He quickly used the Spirit Wolf's language to communicate with the Spirit Wolf. Don't worry about him. Out of these 2 punches, one is real and one is fake. We'll rush over together. No matter which punch is real, we'll block it. If it's fake, we'll rush over and knock Han Xiaopa out of the ring. Awoo! The Spirit Wolf howled to indicate that it understood. Therefore, The man and the beast didn't slow down and rushed toward Lin Yi's martial art. Although Wu Jindao was afraid of Lin Yi's vacuum oscillation fist martial art before, Lin Yi was obviously not using that martial art. Judging from the energy fluctuations, although it was strong, it was definitely not too strong. Naturally, the second martial art naturally wouldn't be too strong. Even if Lin Yi was skilled in using it, it was impossible to reach a situation where the enemy was seriously injured in one move. At that time, he exchanged so many moves with the Earth-tier black-clothed man before killing him. Moreover, he used the third move to his limit. Bang, bang. Wu Jindao and the Spirit Wolf were sent flying by Lin Yi at the same time. Although the man and the wolf weren't seriously injured, their eyes still flashed with disbelief. This disbelief wasn't about Lin Yi's strength, but about this martial art. Lin Yi clearly only threw one punch. How did it really turn into two punches? What kind of martial art was this? They had never heard of such a heaven-defying martial art, right? One punch could turn into two punches. Lin Yi sighed. This would force 1,000 transformations. Even if he used the fourth move, other than wasting the true energy in his body, it was impossible to kill Wu Jindao and the Spirit Wolf. When facing experts of the same level, it was impossible to say that one martial art could kill the opponent. The true energy bomb was simply a golden finger, but it couldn't be used at any time. Ew. This martial art is strange. Wu Jindao quickly stood up from his fall and instructed the Spirit Wolf. You and I don't get too close. One on the left, one on the right. Although this martial art can turn one punch into two punches, the distance can't be too far. It had to be said that this Wu Jindao's brain was very good. He immediately found the way to break Lin Yi's martial art. The arena was huge, and if they were on the left and right, Lin Yi wouldn't be able to hit both of them at the same time, even if he used the fourth form of 1,000 transformations. Even if he used 4 punches, he wouldn't be able to hit both of them. Unless he could use the 10th move, it would be impossible to hit such a large area of effect attack. But this was impossible. Lin Yi didn't even want to think about it. Right now, the only thing Lin Yi could do was to protect Han Xiaopa. Therefore, Wu Jindao and the Spirit Wolf closed in from the left and right. Lin Yi also quickly retreated and stood in front of Han Xiaopa, protecting him. Oh, woo! The Spirit Wolf pounced on Lin Yi from the left. Han Xiaopa died. Wu Jindao closed in on Han Xiaopa from the right. This left and right, 2 directions, made it impossible for Lin Yi to use his martial art. And this arena was circular. There was no corner at all. Whether he stood on the edge or in the middle, he couldn't use the Wood Forest 1,000 transformations to fight the enemy. Wild Wolf Fist. Wu Jindao swung his fist at Han Xiaopa. His martial art was a set of martial art that was compatible with the Spirit Wolf. It was a martial art that was based on the Spirit Wolf's attack method. The power wasn't too great, but it focused on the unity of man and beast. If this Wild Wolf Fist was used together with the Spirit Wolf, the power would naturally be incomparable. But if it was used alone, the difference was huge. However, in order not to fight with Lin Yi head-on and kill Han Xiaopa first, he could only separate from the Spirit Wolf. Otherwise, if the two of them were together and Lin Yi directly hit them with a killer move, they would be dead. Chapter 2130. Since Lin Yi didn't use it, he wouldn't give Lin Yi the chance to use it. He and the Spirit Wolf kept attacking separately. Although the effect was weak, it also prevented Lin Yi from using his ultimate move. If Lin Yi used his ultimate move, he and the Spirit Wolf would run. They wouldn't stand there like idiots from the Golden Bell sect and wait to be beaten. Lin Yi frowned and quickly made a decision. This Wild Wolf Fist, Lin Yi could take it head-on, but this Spirit Wolf couldn't. This Spirit Wolf's attack power was obviously very strong. Lin Yi naturally knew that this Spirit Wolf wasn't easy to deal with after dealing with offensive-type spirit beasts in the ancient tomb. Therefore, Lin Yi made a decision in an instant. He would use his back to take Wu Jindao's punch head-on, and he would use all his strength to deal with the Spirit Wolf. After making the decision, Lin Yi turned around to face the Spirit Wolf, while he and Han Xiaopa stood side by side, staring at the Spirit Wolf. Lin Yi's action stunned Wu Jindao. What did Lin Yi mean? Leaving his back to him? Letting him attack him and let Han Xiaopa go? Although his and the Spirit Wolf's pincer attack could cause great damage to Lin Yi, Wu Jindao immediately gave up on this idea. Because attacking Lin Yi might not necessarily kill Lin Yi. Since Lin Yi could take a full blow from an early-stage Heaven Stage Master, his and the Spirit Wolf's pincer attack probably wouldn't cause too much damage to Lin Yi. So Wu Jindao changed his target to Han Xiaopa. In fact, after seeing Wu Jindao's technique, Lin Yi knew that it wouldn't be able to do much damage to him. After all, Wu Jindao's technique was far too weak compared to the Earth-class black, clothed man's technique. Wu Jindao's move was equivalent to the Heaven and Earth stage man in Black's first move. So since he couldn't kill him, Lin Yi didn't care anymore. He channeled his inner force and prepared to use the fourth form of Frenzy Fist on the Spirit Wolf. Wu Jindao threw a punch at Han Xiaopa. Han Xiaopa's heart tightened. Although he didn't know what Lin Yi was doing, out of his trust in Lin Yi, he didn't make any rash movements. He just stood there motionless. However, Wu Jindao found it strange that when he punched, Lin Yi seemed to have eyes on the back of his head. His body directly went in the direction of his punch. In fact, Lin Yi didn't have eyes on his back, but he used the jade pendant to determine the direction of Wu Jindao. The stronger the danger warning signal, the more obvious the direction of Wu Jindao. Lin Yi didn't need to turn his head to determine it. However, Wu Jindao's skill had already been activated. It was impossible to retract it and change the direction at the last minute. He could only attack Lin Yi's back. Although attacking Lin Yi with the Spirit Wolf was the worst plan, Lin Yi had to attack Lin Yi first. However, at this moment, it was impossible to tell the Spirit Wolf to attack Han Xiaopa. Although the Spirit Wolf had some intelligence and could communicate with Wu Jindao, it was only a mid-stage golden rank spirit beast. Its intelligence wasn't too high. It couldn't be compared to General Wei Wu or Skybolt Pig. It was only the intelligence of a Tomb Guardian spirit beast. Although he knew how to listen to Wu Jindao's orders, it was impossible for him to make a decision on the spot. Bang! Wu Jindao's fist landed on Lin Yi's back and made a loud sound. At this time, Lin Yi moved. He used the fourth form of Frenzy Fist and attacked the Spirit Wolf. Bang! After Lin Yi was hit, the Spirit Wolf was hit as well. It was sent flying by Lin Yi's punch and fell heavily on the ground. However, this guy was really durable. The punch didn't cause any serious injury. It only struggled a little and got up. It still stared at Lin Yi with its eyes full of anger. However, Wu Jindao didn't give the next order, so it couldn't attack Lin Yi directly. Although Wu Jindao's attack wasn't as strong as the fourth form of the Earth rank man in black, Lin Yi took the attack with his back without any defense. It wasn't a fist against fist, so the damage was naturally heavier. In fact, the most important thing was that the Spirit Wolf's damage to Lin Yi was greater than Wu Jindao's. Lin Yi didn't know what technique the Spirit Wolf was using. When his fist landed on its body, the strength of the backlash was enough to make the blood in Lin Yi's chest surge up. Lin Yi couldn't bear it and spat out a mouthful of blood. The depression in his chest was spat out, and he felt much better. However, the problem in front of him hadn't been solved yet. Lin Yi couldn't be careless. He used the art of dragon mastery to quickly heal the injuries in his body while he vigilantly sensed the situation of the Spirit Wolf and Wu Jindao. Hey, Lin Yi, you're only SOSO. You spat out blood after one move of mine. Wu Jindao was overjoyed when he saw Lin Yi spitting out blood. He raised his fist and said to the Spirit Wolf, "Buddy, let's continue." Under Wu Jindao's summon, the Spirit Wolf rushed towards Lin Yi again. Lin Yi's previous punch had already brought out the Spirit Wolf's blood. The Spirit Wolf only wanted to bite off Lin Yi's neck and kill Lin Yi. As for Wu Jindao, he wanted to test if Lin Yi would continue to block in front of him if he attacked Han Xiaopa again. The previous time could be said to be a coincidence, but the second and third time couldn't be said to be a coincidence. However, this test disappointed Wu Jindao. Although Lin Yi didn't look back, Lin Yi's back seemed to have eyes. Wherever Wu Jindao's fist hit, Lin Yi's figure would appear there. Wu Jindao deliberately slanted a little this time and hit Han Xiaopa's left arm. This wasn't a fatal part, but Lin Yi still blocked in front of Han Xiaopa's left arm and took Wu Jindao's punch head-on. However, Lin Yi didn't care. Lin Yi's priority now was to kill or knock this spirit wolf off the stage. Wu Jindao's strength wasn't very great, but this spirit wolf was very fierce. Rather than saying that Lin Yi punched it with his fist, it was better to say that Lin Yi was going head-on with it. Therefore, Lin Yi was now surrounded by enemies. In front, he was going head-on, and behind him, he was completely open for the enemy to hit. This kind of fighting style made Lin Yi very passive and at a disadvantage, but there was nothing he could do about it. The rules of this arena were too deceptive. If he was knocked off the stage, he would lose everything. Chapter 21:31. Lin Yi wiped away the blood at the corner of his mouth. This was the first time Lin Yi had encountered such a fearful battle, and it was incomparably frustrating. He wasn't this careful even when he was protecting Meng Yao, Yushu, Shirhan, or Cheng Yi. After all, Meng Yao, Yushu, and the others could run, but Han Xiaopa couldn't. He had to stay in the ring, and if he ran out of the ring's range, it would be the same as admitting defeat. In order to prevent Han Xiaopa from getting kicked out of the ring, Lin Yi could only keep protecting him. How is it? Lin Yi, it doesn't feel good fighting a spirit wolf, does it? Wu Jindao saw Lin Yi spit out blood again and laughed. My spirit wolf has copper muscles and iron bones. It's one of the best attack-type beasts. It doesn't show any weakness even when fighting a Sky-class early phase. Wah! Lin Yi, if you don't admit defeat, then just wait for your death. One couldn't blame Wu Jindao for being arrogant. There weren't many young disciples like him in the Qian Mountain sect who could establish a contract with such a battle-type spirit beast. Furthermore, his spirit beast was the best of the best, so he was naturally full of confidence when facing an enemy. Plus, Lin Yi had been talked about like a god before, saying how strong he was, but when he got to the ring, he found out that he could only take a beating. How could Wu Jindao not be full of confidence? Lin Yi frowned and didn't say anything, thinking about the value of this battle. His eyes glanced at the elders and sect masters below the ring. Seeing their gloating eyes, Lin Yi knew that if he admitted defeat now, then the fear these elders had for him from the previous matches would disappear. So Lin Yi gritted his teeth. No matter what, he had to hold on. If he really couldn't do it, then he would admit defeat. It doesn't matter. Let's see if your spirit wolf dies first or if I die first. Lin Yi took advantage of the moment Wu Jindao said those words to speed up his chanting, healing the injuries in his body. Spirit wolf, this time you pretended to attack Lin Yi, but you were actually attacking Han Xiaopa. And I'll attack Lin Yi. Wu Jindao muttered to himself for a moment and decided to change tactics. However, he spoke in a language that only the spirit wolf could understand, so Lin Yi naturally did not understand. This time, Wu Jindao imagined that if Lin Yi used his back to receive his fist, Lin Yi would stand still and block it. Since the spirit wolf was attacking Han Xiaopa, it was impossible for Lin Yi to fight the spirit wolf head-on. After all, the spirit wolf's target this time was not Lin Yi, but Han Xiaopa. It was impossible for him to go after Lin Yi. Although Lin Yi couldn't understand Wu Jindao's words, after Wu Jindao punched out, Lin Yi immediately noticed the difference in the jade pendant's warning signal. His heart trembled slightly. Wu Jindao was attacking him this time. Looking at the spirit wolf again, it was indeed rushing towards Han Xiaopa. Therefore, Lin Yi made a prompt decision and turned around to block Han Xiaopa's back, letting the spirit wolf directly pounce on him. Wu Jindao noticed that Lin Yi suddenly turned around. He was also stunned, but his fist did not stop. He was not a spirit wolf, so his thinking was naturally not as old-fashioned as the spirit wolf. Seeing that Lin Yi went to block the spirit wolf, Wu Jindao immediately changed his target and went straight for Han Xiaopa. Lin Yi also saw this situation. He directly pushed Han Xiaopa out, then used the first form of Frenzy Fist to meet Wu Jindao. Wu Jindao had already made his move, so it was impossible to change his target. He directly met Lin Yi's first form of Frenzy Fist head-on. Wu Jindao's physical fitness was not as strong as the spirit wolf. Just the first form of Frenzy Fist was enough to make Wajindao vomit blood. He mainly relied on the cooperation between man and beast in battle. If he was alone, he would be much weaker. At the same time, the spirit wolf also directly hit Lin Yi's back. With a loud sound, Lin Yi's internal organs were all dizzy. Cough, cough. Lin Yi realized that the spirit wolf's attack was much more serious than Wajindao's attack. However, it was much more serious than Wajindao's attack. This spirit wolf's attack power was not one bit inferior to the Earth Stage black-clothed man he had met that day. Although compared to the previous competition, the power of the Heaven Stage was much weaker. But it was already too much for the injured Lin Yi. However, Lin Yi did not care about the spirit wolf. Without stopping, he used the second form of Frenzy Fist and smashed it toward Wajindao. Lin Yi also saw that Wajindao could establish contact with the spirit wolf through the specialized beast language. Whoever the spirit wolf attacked was completely ordered by Wajindao. Since he found this pattern, then Lin Yi locked his target on Wajindao. As long as Wajindao did not change his order, this spirit wolf would not be smart enough to turn around and attack Han Xiaopa. It would definitely attack him. Therefore, Lin Yi did not intend to give Wajindao a chance to communicate with the spirit wolf. After dealing with Wajindao, the spirit wolf was naturally nothing to be afraid of. Boom! The second form of Frenzy Fist once again hit Wajindao. He did not expect Lin Yi's martial arts to be continuous. He did not give him a chance to communicate with the spirit wolf at all. Wajindao once again vomited a large mouthful of blood. His face was a little pale. Just as he was about to say something, he realized that Lin Yi's fist was attacking again. Wajindao was shocked. He quickly used his mental cultivation to activate his martial arts to resist. The third form of Frenzy Fist against the third form of Wild Wolf Fist. Wajindao was naturally at a disadvantage. The Wild Wolf Fist was not as superior as the Frenzy Fist. This martial arts technique would only be at its greatest power when used in conjunction with the Spirit Beast. Moreover, Lin Yi's Frenzy Fist was cultivated to the extreme. Wajindao was once again pushed back. He vomited a few mouthfuls of blood and could not speak. In fact, even though Wajindao was in a miserable state, Lin Yi was not much better. The spirit wolf was like a dead man. It continuously attacked Lin Yi's back. Lin Yi's spine was almost broken by it. If it was not for Lin Yi gritting his teeth and holding on, he would probably be in a terrible situation. The fourth form of Frenzy Fist. Wajindao saw that Lin Yi did not stop and actually activated an even stronger martial arts technique. A hint of fear flashed through his eyes. The fear of death caused him to instantly explode with a shocking potential. He ordered the spirit wolf, "Use your strongest move, human-beast unification." Wajindao could not care about letting the spirit wolf attack Han Xiaopa. He had a feeling that if Lin Yi's move hit him again, he might not live to see tomorrow's sun. Therefore, he summoned the spirit wolf and sacrificed both his and the spirit wolf's cultivation to use the Qinshan sect's strongest secret technique, human-beast unification, heavenly earth wild wolf transformation. Chapter 2132. In other words, once this technique was used, Wajindao would become a mystic class master, and the spirit wolf would turn from a yellow class spirit beast to a normal spirit beast. As a result, this move wouldn't be used unless it was absolutely necessary. But now was the last resort, because Wajindao had been forced into a corner by Lin Yi, and there was nowhere to hide. Even if he wanted to escape the stage, it would be impossible. Of course, the most important thing was that he didn't want to admit defeat just like this. He had already wasted so much energy. If he admitted defeat just like this, then it would be a huge joke. Plus, he had already said those crazy words before. He couldn't afford to lose face like this. Hence, he was willing to sacrifice his strength in order to kill Lin Yi in one move. Man and beast as one was the strongest secret technique of the Qian Mountain sect, combining the power of man and beast together, bringing it to the extreme. Right now, the spirit wolf's attack power was no less than that of a peak late phase Earth class practitioner. If he added his golden knife, it would be equivalent to a peak late phase Earth class practitioner and a peak early phase Earth class practitioner. This was a completely different thing from two practitioners attacking at the same time. This was the superposition of Jin Qi, which could instantly reach the power of a peak early phase heaven-class practitioner. Because of this technique was hailed as a secret technique by the Qian Mountain sect, and it wouldn't be used easily, only at critical moments. Wu Jindao didn't believe that Lin Yi could survive this technique. Even if he was lucky enough not to die, his meridians and bones would be broken, he would become a cripple. Even a third-level pill wouldn't be able to save him. So he made up his mind to use this ultimate technique. Hearing Wu Jindao's call, the spirit wolf stopped attacking Lin Yi, but suddenly jumped up, jumping on top of Wu Jindao's head, letting out a sharp wolf howl. Wu Jindao's mouth was also silently chanting a mantra. This man and wolf suddenly flashed a golden light, then became incomparably red, as if they were being reflected by the setting sun. Human and beast as one, world wild wolf transformation. Following Wu Jindao's roar, his eyes flashed with a strange green light. His entire body seemed to have turned into a fiery red giant wolf. He clasped his hands together and raised them high above his head, perfectly placing them on the spirit wolf's head. Then, as though he was accumulating strength, he quickly smashed towards Lin Yi. Frenzy Fist, fourth form. Lin Yi was also like an arrow on a bowstring that had to be released. Although he smelled a hint of danger, Lin Yi could only bite the bullet and go forward. If Lin Yi dodged at that moment, then the power of Wu Jinsaber's move would very likely affect Han Xiaopa, who was not far away. Lin Yi could withstand the power of this move, but Han Xiaopa definitely could not. Lin Yi's last move, Frenzy Fist, was also to deal a fatal blow to Wu Jindao. Otherwise, Lin Yi would not have used the first move all the way to the last move. This was because the martial skill that was used all the way was much more powerful than a single martial skill. Previously, Wu Jindao's strength was inferior to the Earth Stage black-clothed man. Lin Yi was confident that he could put him to death. Lin Yi had already seen Wu Jindao's insidiousness, so Lin Yi did not intend to keep this scourge alive. Since the Qinshan sect had already gone all out, then Lin Yi could only offend them to the death. Boom! There was a loud sound as if a landmine had exploded. The place where the two people's fists collided formed a huge vortex of true energy that instantly exploded in all directions. Whether it was Wu Jindao, the spirit wolf, or Lin Yi, they were all pushed back by the true energy produced by the explosion. Wu Jindao only felt a powerful true energy that was as powerful as a volcanic eruption enter his body, wantonly destroying his meridians and internal organs. He did not believe that the fourth style of Lin Yi's Frenzy Fist could produce such great power. After all, when Lin Yi used the fourth style of Frenzy Fist against the spirit wolf, Wu Jindao had observed it before. It was definitely not this powerful, but the power of Lin Yi's move far exceeded the fourth style he used before. Could it be? Wu Jindao suddenly thought of a possibility. He had heard before that there were some martial skill geniuses who could use martial skills continuously. From the first style all the way to the next style, the power of each style would gradually increase. But this method was limited to martial skill geniuses and high-grade martial skills. If they could not even bring out the normal power of a martial skill and could not use it skillfully, how could they talk about using it continuously? Could it be that Lin Yi was a martial skill genius? But how could he be so weak? Wu Jindao felt that he was going to die. His internal organs were burning, and his meridians were breaking. He could even foresee his end, that's right. Wu Jindao once again thought of something that made him regretful. When he and the spirit wolf used Human Beast Unite, although the power of their attacks greatly increased, their own strength would drop. He, Wu Jindao, became a peak early phase mystic class, and the spirit wolf had already dropped out of the golden class, becoming a normal spirit beast. This way, their body's defense would also drop. So that's how it is. Wu Jindao was not willing to accept this. He regretted using this Human Beast Unite technique earlier and not waiting for Lin Yi to finish the first, second, and third styles before using it. If he was one step earlier, even if he was one step faster, this wouldn't be the outcome today. Could it be that this match was destined to end in mutual destruction? Wu Jindao was not willing. He was not willing. It was as if he had returned to his childhood, relying on the spirit wolf as companions, torturing his opponents under his feet again and again, becoming the spirit wolf's food. But all of this had become so close yet so far away. He used the last of his strength to open his eyes, wanting to look at his old companion, but all he saw was a headless spirit wolf. The spirit wolf's body had already been destroyed by Lin Yi's fourth style of Frenzy Fist. A spirit beast without a rank was no longer a spirit beast. It was just a normal animal that had the qualifications to level up to become a spirit beast. So, under the tyranny of Lin Yi's fourth style of Frenzy Fist, it had already become a dead wolf. The biggest use of Human Beast Unite was to single-handedly kill the opponent and not to fight head-on with the opponent. Wu Jindao remembered what his master had told him before. When using Human Beast Unite, he had to be careful not to fight head-on with the enemy, because that would be mutual destruction. Chapter 21:33. But now, he remembered everything. He felt that his body was very, very light, and the burning sensation in his internal organs was also getting weaker and weaker. It was as if he had once again returned to the bloody era when he brought the spirit wolf to sweep through his opponents and let the spirit wolf devour the corpses of his opponents. Wu Jindao, dead. Spirit wolf, dead without a complete corpse. Dower. Sect Master will let out a mournful roar and rushed over to hug Wu Jindao's corpse. However, it was already too late. Wu Jindao was actually Sect Master's nephew. He didn't have any children, so he treated his nephew as his own. He worked hard to raise him, but he never told him about this familial love. Now that Wu Jindao was dead, Sect Leader will regret it endlessly. He shouldn't have let Wu Jindao fight against Lin Yi. If he had known that Lin Yi was so powerful, why would he have stood out? So many hidden family's disciples. Were they all idiots? Zhuang Niapeo and Zhuang Niaoqiang, Pai Jishan and Pai Jihai. Were they all idiots? Why did they admit defeat? Wasn't it because they were afraid that Lin Yi wouldn't be able to beat Lin Yi? And his nephew, Wu Jindao, was able to beat him? Lin Yi, this old man swears that I will kill you. Sect Leader will looked at the arena and said through gritted teeth, in the arena, Lin Yi didn't have it easy either. After falling heavily to the ground, he realized that he had underestimated the power of Wu Jindao's human-beast unity. That move was even more powerful than the initial stage heaven-rank powerhouse's attack from the previous match. Lin Yi felt his bones, meridians, and organs all shatter. He had to admit that Wu Jindao was the most dangerous opponent he had encountered since entering Earth Class. Whether it was Blue Hair, Right 13, or the Earth Class man in black, none of them made Lin Yi feel so defeated. Although the battle with Wu Jindao looked simple and not complicated, it was still frightening. Right now, Lin Yi was using his true chi to keep himself alive. If it were any other practitioner, they would have died the moment their true chi ran out. Fortunately, Lin Yi had the art of dragon mastery, a heaven-defying technique that could heal himself. Therefore, after Lin Yi fell to the ground, he didn't rush to get up. Instead, he activated the second stage of the art of dragon mastery and quickly healed his internal injuries. Fortunately, Lin Yi left some true chi in his body. Otherwise, even if his injuries slowly healed, his meridians wouldn't be able to heal. It would be the same result as when he fought with Ma Zhu. Han Xiaopa also wanted to go and see Lin Yi, but old Master Han stopped her with a wave of his hand. He shook his head slightly. If Lin Yi was still alive and was recuperating, then it was best not to touch him. If he was already dead, then there was no point in going. They had to consider the future of the Hidden Han family. However, Han Xiaopa was still very worried as he walked to Lin Yi's side. However, when he saw that Lin Yi was still alive, he was relieved. Wu Jindao, Lin Yi, can you still stand up? Old Master Zhao saw that there was no movement in the arena. He didn't know if Lin Yi was dead. So he asked, if both sides perished, then both sides would be losers in this match. In old Master Zhao's heart, he wanted Lin Yi to die. If Lin Yi died, then there was no need to compete in the last match. It would be clean. As for Wu Jindao, old Master Zhao didn't have any thoughts about it. If he died, then so be it. It had nothing to do with his hidden Zhao family anyway. My boss is recuperating. Die my A***s. Han Xiaopa said angrily. Can't you see that he is still breathing? Hurry up and announce the winner. Lin, he had just repaired the damaged bones in his body. He could barely sit up. He sat cross-legged on the arena, his eyes still closed as he quickly chanted the mantra to heal himself. His injuries were too serious at the moment. Lin, he had to be treated as soon as possible. There was no time to waste. Did you see that? My boss has risen. Han Xiaopa was overjoyed. He continued, even if that Wu Jindao is still alive, his spirit wolf is dead. Moreover, we knocked him off the stage. Boss and I are still in the arena. When old Master Zhao saw that Lin, he wasn't dead, a trace of disappointment flashed across his eyes. However, he still followed the rules and announced, the final champion of the two-man arena challenge is the Hidden Han family, Qianshan Gate. Old Master Zhao looked at Gate Master with a questioning gaze. If Wu Jindao didn't die and only one of his spirit beasts died, then he could still be the second place in the match. However, if both of them died, then it would be considered as a forfeit. Lin Yi, I'm going to kill you. It would have been better if old Master Zhao didn't mention it. Now that he asked, Gate Master was enraged. Looking at Lin Yi on the arena, his eyes were spewing fire. He let out a weird cry and wanted to jump onto the arena to kill Lin Yi. Gate Master Wa, don't be rash. Old Master Yu, who was next to Gate Master Wa, pulled him back and whispered, if you want to take revenge, you can't do it now. The Hidden Family Summit has always been watched by the ancient people. Fists and kicks have no eyes in the arena. Life and death are fated by fate. If Gate Master Wa makes a move, then you'll be breaking the rules. Phew. Gate Master will calm down after hearing old Master use words. He nodded and said, then I'll let that little bastard Lenny live for a while. In the afternoon's additional match, I'll definitely kill him. That's right. If we kill him during the match, no one will be able to find fault with it. Old Master Yu nodded. Old Master Zhao, my disciple Wu Jindao, has already. Gate Master was sighed. The Qin Mountain Gate will withdraw from this battle. Old Master Zhao nodded and announced the results. The Qin Mountain Gate will withdraw from the third-place match between the Hidden House Zhuang and the Hidden House. You will be upgraded to the second and third-place match. On this side, since Old Master Zhao had announced the withdrawal of the Qin Mountain Gate, the Hidden House Yu and the Hidden House Zhuang naturally changed from a life-and-death battle to a slow sparring session. The disciples of the Hidden House Yu saw that the two Zhuang brothers were indeed strong, so they didn't want to continue fighting. They cupped their fists and said, the two Zhuang brothers are indeed famous. We admit defeat. At this time, the second and third place were almost the same. Who would be willing to fight for this? Lenny took first place and completely messed up the internal order. Since they couldn't get first place, second and third place were almost the same. Hee, thank you for letting me win. Zhuang Miaoqiang cupped his fists and said, he actually didn't want to fight anymore. The Hidden House Zhuang and the Hidden House Yu didn't have any personal grudges. There was no need for the two houses to fight. If the Hidden House Yu didn't admit defeat, Zhuang Miaoqiang wanted to admit defeat as well. After all, the second and third place had already become Lin Yi's background. They didn't have the glory of being in the top 3 of the previous Hidden House Summit. Chapter 2134. Everyone's only thought was that the meeting should end as soon as possible, so that they wouldn't embarrass themselves. Second place is the Hidden House Zhuang. Third place is the Hidden House Yu. Elder Zhao said, the houses after fourth place have a chance to challenge each other. Is there anyone who wants to challenge? This challenge made the two brothers of House Pai's hearts skip a beat. Now, that Lin Yi was injured. If they challenged the first place, would they win? Or would Lin Yi be injured and surrender? Thinking of this, Pai Jishan looked up at old Pai. Elder Pai knew what Jishan was thinking from his eyes. He sighed and shook his head. Jishan, our Hidden House Pai is weak, and we can't handle this. From what I see, I'm not a match for that Lenny. If Lin Yi surrenders now and takes revenge later, our Hidden House Pai will be finished. Yes, Grandpa, I was too impulsive. Jishan's heart skipped a beat. Thinking of this possibility, Yes, Lin Yi might surrender now, but that moment of happiness would bring about the destruction of their house. Looking at the spirit wolf and with Jin Dao's state, Zhishan didn't doubt that Lin Yi could destroy their hidden house Pai. Just as Grandpa, a sky-class early-phase physical practitioner, wouldn't be able to stop Lin Yi's power. Enemies don't have to be enemies forever. He doesn't have any family feud with House Pai. Our house, Pai, only lost some normal disciples and distant relatives. Elder Pai said faintly, "Look at the hidden house you. Their chi-gathering pill was stolen, and the common house you was destroyed. Aren't they enduring it too?" "Yes." Zhishan nodded, but then thought of something else. He lowered his voice. "That Lin Yi, can he last past the extra round in the afternoon? With the Gone Mountain sex, will Master let Lin Yi go back alive? Even if we win against Lin, we still need Lin Yi's life to take revenge, right?" "Zhishan, if you want to be the head of the family, you need to have a long-term and cautious vision. You can't be arrogant, and you can't do risky things. Don't touch anything that might cause the family to be doomed eternally." Elder Pai said, "Our hidden house, Pai, isn't the strongest hidden house, but we're the most stable." "Why is that?" "This is because we seek development through stability, different from those clans that seek wealth through danger. Before, when Lin Yi's lackey killed Jin Wudi, you made the right decision to rush back to the family. But today, why did you let the stakes get to your head?" This. Pai Zhishan's forehead was covered in cold sweat. Yes, these few days he was really driven mad by the bet. Look, before any match, who would be optimistic about Lin Yi? But the result? Elder Pai said, "What's the point of the bet? As long as our hidden house, Pai, doesn't fall, we can still find it slowly. But once we offend that Lin Yi, do you think we'll stop? Even if Lin Yi dies and his lackey comes to beat us up, who can take it?" "Yes." Zhishan thought of Ergooden's power and quickly nodded. "Grandpa, I understand. And if Lin Yi doesn't die this time, this will be fun." Old Pai looked to Han Tianba not far away and said with envy, "The hidden house of Han is so lucky. The ranking of the double arena challenge is out. The champion is the hidden house Han, the second is the hidden house Zhuang, and the third is the hidden house Yu. Please come up to the stage to claim your winnings." Elder Zhao said. Although Lin Yi was healing himself, they couldn't delay the others just because of Lin Yi. They still had to go through the process of claiming their winnings. So this time, Hidden House Han was the same as the other houses. Han Tianba came to claim his winnings, but he didn't know if Lin Yi needed the Hidden House Zhuang and House Yu's treasures, so he didn't dare make the decision to trade. He took a look and realized that the treasures that Hidden House Zhuang and House Yu took out were from their own treasure vaults. If Lin Yi needed it, then he could just take it from their vaults. There was no need to trade with them, so he just took the winnings from Lin Yi. "Elder Han, it seems like you don't have the right to trade with us. TSK, I wonder if it's you or Lin Yi who's in charge of the Hidden House Han." Han Tianba, Elder Zhuang said with a smile that didn't reach his eyes. This was supposed to be the champion of Hidden House Zhuang, but it was taken by Lin Yi. He wasn't happy about it and wouldn't let go of any chance to make fun of him. "Mr. Lin, of course." Han Tianba smiled and said, "Our Hidden Han family is under Mr. Lin's leadership. Is there a problem?" Han Tianba didn't think it was humiliating at all. Instead, it was like he was talking about something glorious, pointing out Lin Yi's position in the Hidden House. "You are giving up." Seeing that his provocation had failed, old Master Zhuang snorted resentfully. "Some families say the grapes are sour because they can't eat them. I understand." Han Tianba laughed. Han Tianba and Elder Zhuang were at loggerheads. The other elders seemed to be chatting, but they were all looking in the same direction, at Lin Yi on the stage. Especially sect leader Wall. He felt that it was impossible for Lin Yi to survive. With the human beast unite, he could defeat enemies of a higher level. He could even kill a peak early-stage heaven-ranked master. How could he not kill Lin Yi? Although a few cultivators had not used up their true chi and could use it to prolong their lives, Lin Yi should be dead by now. These people wanted to see how Lin Yi was doing. Was he dead? Was he injured or disabled? So they were supposed to go back for lunch, but they didn't want to leave. If Lin Yi couldn't make it, not only would he lose the championship, These people would definitely hold a banquet to celebrate. Especially the hidden house Zhuang. It was like regaining the championship after losing it. Lin, he was in the Jade space, but he knew what was going on outside. He knew what these people were thinking, so he didn't dare to be careless. He quickly used the art of dragon mastery to heal himself. His injuries were too serious this time. There wasn't a single part of his body that wasn't injured. Chapter 2135. Lin, he had to return to normal and appear in front of these people. Otherwise, not only would he be in danger, the Hidden Han family would be in danger too. Although these people couldn't do anything to him on the surface, they would definitely have other tricks up their sleeves. So Lin, he had to work extra hard to heal his injuries as soon as possible. These people were all harboring evil intentions, especially the Qian Mountain factions with faction leader, who couldn't wait to kill Lin Yi. Lin, he had to be on guard against this old thing trying to assassinate him in the middle of the night. If he teamed up with the Golden Clock faction's diamond drill to deal with him, then he really had to be on guard. Bones and internal organs had all been repaired by Lin Yi. Next was the meridians. This was also the first time Lin Yi had used the second stage of the art of dragon mastery to remodel his body. What surprised Lin Yi was that the bones and internal organs repaired by the second stage of the art of dragon mastery were clearly different from before. They were much sturdier than before. Just like when he used the body tempering elixir to refine his body, Lin Yi could already feel the difference in his body. But after this full recovery, Lin Yi felt the difference again. This situation made Lin Yi very surprised. Jiao Lao, my body seems to have become sturdier after the second stage of the art of dragon mastery. Lin Yi asked secretly. I'm also observing, Jiao Yazi said. According to my memory, the second stage of the art of dragon mastery is indeed more magical than the first stage. It's not surprising that you're stronger than the first stage after using the second stage to repair your body. You've really profited from a disaster this time. Ever since I started practicing the second stage of the art of dragon mastery, this is the first time I've been completely injured. Previously, whether it was against the Earth-class men in black or during the combat, there had never been a situation where his entire body was broken. So this time, it was a bit like the legendary breaking and rebuilding. Could it be the benefit of the second stage of the art of dragon mastery? But the art of dragon mastery didn't mention it? If that's the case, it's really a blessing in disguise. Lin, he nodded. But why didn't the art of dragon mastery mention it before? I don't know. One possibility is that my memory hasn't fully recovered. I know, but I can't remember. Jiao Yazi said straightforwardly. There's another possibility, which is that Grand Marshal Uncle doesn't know either. After all, this is an ancient mantra that no one has cultivated before. Grand Marshal Uncle made some cultivation plans based on his own speculation. I see. Lin Yi nodded. The meridians were finally repaired by Lin Yi. However, the repaired meridians were much thicker than before. This situation surprised and delighted Lin Yi. The thicker meridians meant that they could absorb more true qi. In this way, their strength would also increase. After the meridians were repaired, Lin Yi began the journey of recovering his strength. Lin Yi had used up too much true qi and stamina, so he needed to replenish it. However, when Lin Yi was about to replenish his true qi, his face suddenly changed. Lin Yi was shocked to find that he was about to break through. From the looks of it, after his meridians were repaired, they became thicker, and after absorbing more true energy, there were signs of a breakthrough. If Lin Yi were to rush up now, he might very well break through to Earth-class mid-phase. But Lin Yi was hesitating. Breaking through was something worth celebrating. Lin Yi had just broken through to Earth-class early phase peak not long ago, and now he was about to break through to Earth-class mid-phase. This speed made Lin Yi very satisfied. Of course, part of it was Wang Xinyan's contribution that allowed Lin Yi to basically reach the barrier of Earth-class early phase peak, but the injury this time and the repair of his meridians were very important. So if you thought about it carefully, this sign of a breakthrough this time was actually not too strange. The problem was that breaking through here would expose Lin Yi's trump card in front of everyone. At that time, everyone would know that Lin Yi only had the strength of Earth-class mid-phase, not some Sky-class suppressive strength. This way, the mysterious pressure that Lin Yi had created for the Elders and Sect Masters would no longer exist. From their point of view, Lin Yi only had some trump cards and luck. It was not strength at all. To be honest, if the current Lin Yi were to go head-to-head with a Sky-class early-phase master, there was absolutely no chance of winning. Even if a Sky-class early-phase master fought Lin Yi, if he didn't die in one move, he would definitely die in two. This was why Lin Yi was in a dilemma right now. Should he break through in one go? Or should he stop and look for an opportunity in the future? This was a question that kept going around in Lin Yi's mind, but he couldn't make up his mind right now. After all, breaking through was a rare opportunity, and to a practitioner, other than those rare geniuses or inheritors, not everyone would be able to break through after reaching the bottleneck like it was when the conditions were right. Stopping at a bottleneck and looking for a breakthrough required opportunity and enlightenment. This was also why the hidden house you wanted the chi-gathering pill so badly. After all, Little Chun, you have been stuck at Earth-class late-phase peak for a long time now. So, if Lin Yi stopped now and didn't break through because he was full of energy and stamina, then when would he be able to break through again? After all, this kind of opportunity couldn't be created, and it wasn't something that could be broken through just because you wanted to. When Lin Yi was stuck at Mystic late-phase peak, he had experienced this firsthand. He had no choice but to use the chi-gathering pill to force a breakthrough. Whatever, he'd give it his all. Lin Yi clenched his teeth. So what if they knew his background? He still had a trump card that he hadn't used yet. If those Sky-class old men were to team up with others to kill Lin Yi, then Lin Yi wouldn't just stand there and do nothing. With that thought, Lin Yi once again increased the speed of the second stage of the art of dragon mastery. When he was thinking, he purposely slowed down the speed of the chant, but he didn't stop. He was afraid that if he stopped, he wouldn't be able to break through again. In an instant, a large amount of pure energy flowed from the jade space into Lin Yi's body, and the energy of heaven and earth around Lin Yi was also channeled over, forming a huge chi whirlpool above Lin Yi's head. Chapter 21:36. Unless he couldn't break through anymore and use compressed chi to help someone else break through. Only then would there be this kind of energy ripple. This happened in the tomb when he helped Yutian and Lingshan break through to Mystic as well. Of course, now that Lin Yi was Earth class, this would only happen when he compressed chi to break through to Earth class. It was just that Lin Yi hadn't found a way to help people break through to Earth class yet. Otherwise, Lin Yi wouldn't have gotten so many chi-gathering pills at this meeting. Bosses breaking through? Han Xiaopa saw this and was shocked. He quickly stood in front of Lin Yi, as if he was going to protect Lin Yi with his life. Han Tianba saw this and jumped in front of the stage, standing in front of Lin Yi. Tang Yuyu, on the other hand, slowly walked up to the stage after a painful internal struggle. Elder Tang frowned, raising his hand to stop Tang Yuyu, but put it down and sighed, not stopping him. You? What are you doing? Tang Yuyu's arrival gave Han Xiaopa a fright, thinking that he was going to harm Lin Yi. After all, the hidden house Tang had always been against Lin Yi. I'm here to help protect him. Tang Yuyu's feelings were complicated. Lin Yi was his brother-in-law, and during this meeting, Lin Yi had always sided with him. Tang Yuyu couldn't just sit back and do nothing. Elder Tang, this grandson of yours doesn't seem to be able to tell friend from foe. Elder Yu said faintly as he looked at Tang Yuyu. Blindly loyal, unable to tell friend from foe. This child. Elder Tang felt that Tang Yuyu was giving House Tang a ray of hope, but on the surface, he shook his head. In law, you know. Yuyu. He's not like his father at all. Elder Tang, does that mean you're like me? Tang Yuyu's father was Elder Yu's daughter, Yu Xiaoxin. Although a married daughter was like spilled water, the relationship between Tang Yuyu and his hidden Yu family was not very big. There was still some relationship after all. Therefore, Tang Yuyu's actions made old Master Yu very helpless. He couldn't say too much about his own grandson, right? Grandfather Tang shook his head and did not dwell on the topic. Instead, he asked, have you seen through Lin Yi's strength? He's breaking through the peak early phase of Earth class and is about to rush into the middle phase of Earth class. Old man, you didn't say anything, but Old man Zhao spoke first. Could it be that we've been wrong? That Lin Yi is just an Earth class early phase peak? Elder Yu frowned, finding it hard to believe. How can he tell that he's an Earth class mid-phase peak? Sect leader was said hatefully, "My disciple and the spirit wolf's man-beast unite. Consummate skill can even resist a peak early heaven class master. This Lin Yi is an Earth class peak early Earth class master, and he's not dead yet? That's what I'm curious about as well." Old man, you didn't confirm nor deny it. He just said calmly, but looking at his current situation, he is indeed breaking through to the middle phase of Earth class. Most of the people here are spiritual practitioners, so they should be able to feel it, right? That's right. Elder Yu nodded. The feeling should be correct. He is breaking through to the middle phase of Earth class early phase peak, but I don't really understand. If this Lin Yi is really that weak, then there will be plenty of opportunities for revenge in the future. Heh! Old man Zhao laughed evilly. This Lin Yi has some trump cards. When he was mystic, he could kill anyone below Earth class. And when he's Earth class, it's not hard to kill anyone below Sky class. But if multiple Earth class peak late phase peak fight him at the same time, I'm afraid. Did you forget that Lin Yi killed Ma Dashin with that killer move? Old man, you said that move. Don't talk about multiple Earth class late phase peak late phase peak. Even if there was a Sky class, they wouldn't be able to escape unscathed. They would probably be injured. It would be great if we could take advantage of this moment to kill him. Unknowingly, Jin Gang had also arrived behind these few people and spoke faintly. There was a hint of instigation in his words. Kill him now? During the Hidden House Summit? Other than an accident during the tournament, would you dare to kill anyone you want? Old man Zhao laughed coldly. If we want to make a move, we'll have to wait until the summit is over. I'm the host. If I kill someone here, I won't be able to clear my name. It wasn't that old man Zhao didn't want to kill Lin Yi, but that it wasn't worth it to kill Lin Yi now. If he was punished by the ancient sects, it wouldn't be worth it. So no matter what, he couldn't let anyone do anything to Lin Yi during the Hidden House Summit. Although he hated Lin Yi, this was a common hatred. How could he let the Hidden Zhao family take the blame? At that time, the Hidden Zhao family would be blamed for not hosting the Hidden House Summit. Being targeted by the ancient sects wouldn't be a good thing no matter what. The ancient sects now weren't the ancient sects that had gone through a huge change 13 years ago. A new batch of Sky class masters had appeared like the clouds, and there were quite a few Sky class late phase peak late phase masters. So in the eyes of the ancient sects, old man Zhao, who was only a Sky class early phase master, wasn't enough. This was also why he insisted that before the Hidden House Summit ended, he couldn't do anything to Lin Yi. Moreover, the Qin Mountain sect had already taken up the task of dealing with Lin Yi. There was still the last round of the tournament. Wouldn't it be great if Lin Yi was killed by the Qin Mountain sect's ancient spiritual beast? No one would have to take responsibility, and no one would get into trouble. This was the best ending, so why take the risk now? Yeah, the Qin Mountain sect's headmaster had already said that he would set up a trap in the last round. Everyone, don't worry. Old Yu said faintly. After all, old man Zhao was his in-law, and he couldn't just not speak up for him. More importantly, old Yu saw Lin Yi's rapid growth, and he was getting more and more shocked. Earth class early phase, peak early phase, and he had the strength to challenge a Sky class early phase master. This kind of genius was rare even in the ancient sects. If the Hidden House you could form an alliance with Lin Yi, it would be a great thing, but this was obviously impossible. Old Yu shook his head. This wasn't the first time he had thought about his grudge with Lin Yi, but no matter how much he thought about it, he couldn't find a solution. Chapter 21:37. As a result, the relationship between Lin Yi and Yu Ning had no chance of developing. Just this alone was enough to shut Lin Yi out. Plus, Lin Yi had stolen the Qi Gathering Pill, a pill that could allow Yu Shaoqin to step into Sky class. This was the hope of the Hidden House Yu, and now it was gone. In comparison, the destruction of the Common House Yu had the least amount of hatred for the Hidden House Yu. Back then, Elder Yu was chased out by the Common House Yu, and he was taught martial arts by the people there. After he became successful, he built the hidden house you, and the common house you shamelessly tried to get closer to them. From the bottom of his heart, Elder Yu looked down on them. So, after thinking about it, he could bear the hatred of destroying the common house you. And if Lin was willing to return the chi-gathering pill, he could let bygones be bygones. However, the hidden house you had to listen to the words of the people there. Elder Yu was very clear about the power of that place, and it would only take a few minutes for them to destroy the hidden house you. And so, in order to completely cut off Yuning's thoughts, Elder Yu supported killing Lin Yi, but the whereabouts of the chi-gathering pill. In the last match, Lin Yi must die. Headmaster Wu humphed coldly. My disciple Wu Jindao did not die for nothing. Just as these people were discussing Lin Yi, who was on the stage, broke through as well, and became an Earth class mid-phase. Although Tang Yu said that he was here to protect Lin Yi, Han Xiaopa and Han Tianba were still wary of this person, afraid that he would do something to harm Lin Yi. Tang Yu didn't know whether to laugh or cry. However, there were some things that he couldn't say out loud. This was already very biased towards Lin Yi. If he were to openly pull a relationship with Lin Yi and say that Lin Yi was his brother-in-law, how would the Hidden Yu family feel? One had to know that the Hidden Yu family and his Hidden Tang family were both families that were hostile to Lin Yi. As such, Tang Yu could only use this method to silently support Lin Yi. After Lin Yi had broken through, Tang Yu silently cupped his fists towards Han Xiaopa and Han Tianba before quickly walking down the stage and returning to Grandfather Tang's side. Because Tang Yu was Old Master Yu's grandson, Old Master Yu didn't say anything even though he wasn't very happy. Since Elder Yu didn't say anything, there was no need for Elder Tang to say anything. I finally broke through the barrier. I feel like I should be able to insta-kill a heaven-rank expert. Lin Yi stood up and said indifferently. Quack. Han Xiaopa was stunned. He didn't think that Lin Yi's first words after breaking through would be this. Han Xiaopa was very shocked. He wanted to congratulate Lin Yi, but he didn't know what to say. And Lin Yi's words also shocked Han Tianba. Of course, Old Master Zhao, Old Master Yu, Old Master Tang, Old Master Yu, Gate Master Wu, Gate Master Jin, and the others were even more shocked. If it was any other Earth-rank mid-stage expert who felt that they should be able to insta-kill a Heaven-rank expert, they would treat it as a huge joke and laugh at it. But when these words came out from Lin Yi, it felt indescribably strange. When Lin Yi was at the peak of the early stage of Earth rank, he could insta-kill 3 Earth rank experts, including one in the late stage. And on the stage, he also insta-killed a Golden Shield expert from the Golden Bell clan. In the fight against the Golden Bell clan, he withstood a blow from an early stage Heaven rank expert. In the final battle with the Qianshan clan, even with Jin Dao and the Spirit Wolf who had merged with the Beast were no match for him. After Lin Yi and the Beast merged with each other, not only did he not die from injury, but he also broke through. These kind of strange things really made people believe that Lin Yi wasn't just talking big. Of course, it could also be that Lin Yi had just broken through and his confidence was inflated, which was why he said such overbearing words. But if Lin Yi didn't have a few tricks up his sleeve, he wouldn't have said this. For him to say this, it also proved that his previous strength was not far from insta-killing a Heaven rank expert. Now, basically no one thought that after Lin Yi was hit by Jin Dao and the Spirit Wolf, he sat on the ground because he was healing. In everyone's eyes, Lin Yi probably comprehended the opportunity to break through during the battle, and then went all out to cultivate and break through the barrier. After all, how could healing be completed so quickly? Moreover, they didn't see Lin Yi take any medicinal pills. If he was injured, it was probably just because his breathing was not smooth. It was impossible for him to have suffered too much damage. Previously, the attack of an early-stage Heaven rank expert was nothing to Lin Yi. After the attack, Lin Yi stood up smoothly. Therefore, in everyone's eyes, the Beast merged with each other didn't cause too much damage to Lin Yi. It only messed up his true chi. Such a short period of time was just enough for other cultivators to catch their breath. It wasn't even enough for them to catch their breath. Haha, Since Lin Yi is fine, let's all disperse. The champion of this duel challenge is undoubtedly the Hidden Han family. There's no need to wait for other possibilities. Old Master Zhao's heart trembled, but he still laughed and said, no matter how powerful Lin Yi was, he was only a mid-earth rank expert. He might have some trump card to instantly kill a heaven rank, but what made him most confident was that he knew Lin Yi's true strength. Now, the most important thing was not to rush to deal with Lin Yi, but to discuss how to deal with Lin Yi, brainstorming to see if there was a way to encircle and suppress Lin Yi. Let's go eat lunch, Old Master Tang also said. Everyone nodded their heads and dispersed from the arena area. Lin Yi looked at the dispersing crowd and let out a sigh of relief. Just now, when he said he could instantly kill a heaven rank expert, he only said it casually. His goal was to test the reaction of those old masters and sect leaders. It seemed that these people really did have bad intentions. But in the end, these people chose to leave, which made Lin Yi relax for the time being. During the Hidden House Summit, conflicts with force were not allowed. It seemed that this rule was not false. Otherwise, these old masters and sect leaders could use force to suppress and blackmail the Hidden Han family. There was no need to make a Hidden House Summit competition to target the Hidden Han family. After thinking this through, Lin Yi was not nervous for the time being. The main problem was how to safely leave the Hidden Zhao family after the summit ended. Han Xiaopa had said that conflicts with force were not allowed during the Hidden House Summit. But what about after the summit? Chapter 2138. Boss, you're all right? Han Xiaopa rubbed his hands together excitedly, but then felt like he'd said something stupid. Lin Yi was definitely fine, or else how could he have broken through? The Hidden House of Han hadn't been around for a long time, but Han Xiaopa was still a disciple of a hidden house. He'd never heard of anyone breaking through with an injury before. Most people would only break through after they'd recovered. I'm fine. Lin Yi nodded. This Wujin Dao's Beastman fusion is very powerful. I have to admit, the Gone Mountain School has some tricks up their sleeves. Yeah, but boss is more skilled than me. I was scared out of my wits on the stage. I didn't know what to do, Han Xiaopa said guiltily. Not only can I not help boss, but I'm also a burden. That's right. It's not your fault. You just broken through to Earth class, and you can't even use your skills, much less fight your opponent. Lin Yi waved his hand. He didn't blame Han Xiaopa. He still remembered when he'd first broken through to Earth class, and how powerless he'd felt when he'd fought Blue Hair for the first time. Boss, let's go back for lunch. There's the last extra match in the afternoon, and it's the highlight of every Hidden House Summit. Han Xiaopa said, Extra match? What kind of competition is this? Haven't you heard anything about it? Lin Yi nodded. No. Han Xiaopa shook his head helplessly. We've tried our best to find out, but the Hidden House Han is isolated from the rest of the hidden houses. I'm afraid the other hidden houses and sects have already found out about the competition, but we haven't heard anything. Whatever, we'll take it one step at a time. If it doesn't work, we'll just forfeit, Lin Yi said. 2 bets, we can afford to lose. That's true, Han Xiaopa said. This last match was already thrilling enough. These bets weren't really worth it. All right, when boss was breaking through just now, Tang Yu from the Hidden Tang family came over. He said he wanted to protect boss, but he didn't do anything, so I don't know what he meant. Yes, I know. Lin Yi was a little confused about Tang Yu's strange behavior, but he couldn't figure out what Tang Yu's goal was. In this Hidden House Summit, Tang Yu seemed to be very friendly, but he couldn't figure out why, so he decided not to think about it. Together with Han Xiaopa and Han Tianba, they returned to their temporary residence. After having lunch and resting for a while, a disciple of the Hidden Zhao family came to the courtyard and shouted, Is the Hidden Han family's patriarch Han here? The last round of the Hidden House Summit is about to begin. The contents of the competition will be kept a secret for now. Family head Han, please bring the participating disciples and the 2 wagers to the conference hall. Okay, I'll go now. Han Tianba nodded, but in his heart, he did not agree. Keep it a secret for now. Other than keeping it a secret from the Hidden Han family, the contents of the competition were probably no secret to the other families, right? But Han Tianba had no choice but to lower his head. He could only keep a low profile and go with Lin Yi and Han Xiaopa to the hidden Zhao family's conference hall. In the conference hall, the elders of the other families and sects were all present. After Han, Tianba registered the wagers and Lin Yi's name. He sat in his seat. What surprised him was that other than Elder Zhao, there was also the Gone Mountain faction's patriarch Hua. The last round of the Hidden House Summit will be jointly organized by our host, the Hidden Zhao family, and the Gone Mountain faction. Old Master Zhao said, "Here, I would like to thank the Qian Mountain sect for their contribution to this competition. They took out one of the Qian Mountain sect's guardian spirit beasts, the ancient spirit beast, the wind, thunder, purple lightning beast, as the spirit beast for this competition. So, in order to thank the Gone Mountain faction for their contribution, we have decided that with the Hidden Zhao family as the leader, all the hidden houses will take out one item to compensate the Gone Mountain faction. This is purely compensation. It cannot be won back." This decision was made by Elder Zhao and the other elders. Originally, it was agreed that only the Hidden House Zhao, House Yu, and a few other noble houses would take out one treasure each, but the Hidden House Han kept winning, which made Elder Zhao very unhappy. So, he wanted to drag him down with him and cheat him of some benefits. This was equivalent to the Gone Mountain faction's patriarch using the Hidden House Han's benefits to get rid of Lin Yi. It sounded like a huge joke, but it was the truth. No one objected to this kind of scheme to cheat the Hidden House Han, since they didn't really need to take out any wagers. It was just a pretense, and the ones taking out the wagers were the Hidden House Zhao and a few others. They were just cooperating, so why not? They could even give the Gone Mountain faction some face. No one would say anything about this kind of favor. However, Han Tianba frowned. Wasn't this obviously extortion? Although the Hidden House Han didn't lack such a wager, they didn't have such a rule. So, Han Tianba asked calmly, "Elder Zhao, in the past Hidden House summits, there has never been such a compensation, right? If the Gone Mountain faction feels that it's not worth it, then they can cancel the additional test. There's no need to put all the rewards on us, right? This way, those of us who haven't even participated in the competition have already lost a portion of the wager. Even if we participate, we might not win. That's the same as losing 3 portions of the wager. Who calculates things like this? This is the collective decision of the Hidden House Summit." Elder Zhao said calmly. "The Gone Mountain faction contributed an ancient spirit beast with the bloodline of a mythical beast for our Hidden House conference. Isn't this righteous act worthy of our respect? It's just a wager, just to show our sincerity. How was this contribution? After the competition, the spirit beast will still be returned to the Gone Mountain faction, right?" Han Xiaopa also felt that this rule was a bit of a scam. Although that's the case, what if something happens to the spirit beast during the competition? What if it dies or gets injured? Wouldn't the Gone Mountain faction be responsible for it? The Gone Mountain faction's gate leader naturally wasn't willing to lose out. Since he had already taken a wager, there was no reason for him to give up. He had to make the Hidden House Han take out something. "Oh, that means that as long as we hand over a portion of the wager, if anything happens to the spirit beast, the Gone Mountain faction will be responsible for it. It won't have anything to do with the participating families, right?" Lin Yi's heart jumped as he looked at gate leader Hua and asked. Chapter 2139. So that's how it is. Looks like sect leader Hua's awareness is quite high. Lin Yi nodded. "Of course. I took out the ancient spirit beast because I'm prepared to sacrifice myself. Otherwise, I wouldn't have asked for your bet as compensation." Although sect leader Hua said that, he didn't think much of it. Did this Lin Yi think that he was invincible just because he killed the spirit wolf by luck? One had to know that this ancient spirit beast, the purple lightning beast, was an ancient spirit beast with the bloodline of a mythical beast. Not only did this ancient spirit beast have high intelligence, but its strength was also top-notch. The most important thing was that this ancient spirit beast with the bloodline of a mythical beast was different from normal ancient spirit beasts. It could use martial techniques. This was something that other battle-attributed spirit beasts didn't have. Moreover, this spirit beast's martial techniques would continuously improve as its level increased. Of course, this purple lightning beast was only at the peak of the late phase of the golden class. It was impossible for it to use martial techniques. However, the strength it had at the peak of the late phase of the golden class was enough to fight against a heaven-class early phase master. This was also why the disciples of the Qian Mountain sect had the same status as the hidden noble houses, even though their strength wasn't that great. They had guardian spirit beasts, and the disciples could also control the spirit beast and establish a contract with it. Moreover, they could use the ultimate move of becoming one with the beast. This was something that the other hidden noble houses couldn't compare to. But then again, if this Qian Mountain sect could have a few heaven-class masters, then it wouldn't be a normal sect anymore. It would definitely be promoted to an ancient sect because they had the capital to do so. Therefore, from sect leader's point of view, if Lin Yi and the purple lightning beast were to fight, there wouldn't be a second possibility. There would only be death. Even if the purple lightning beast didn't use much strength to fight Lin Yi, a few slaps would be enough to kill Lin Yi. Of course, if it was possible, he would kill Lin Yi right away to relieve the hatred in sect leader was heart. However, although this purple lightning beast was one of the guardian spirit beasts of the Qian Mountain sect, it didn't establish a contract with anyone in the Qian Mountain sect. It wasn't that the past disciples and sect leaders didn't want to form a contract with him, but that he didn't care about you at all. The purple electric wind thunder beast and the other guardian spirit beast lived in the Qian Mountain Gate because the heaven and earth spirit Qi there was denser than other places. Moreover, the Qian Mountain Gate provided it with good food, spirit medicine, and treasures, so it could barely stay there. Otherwise, the purple electric tempest beast would have left long ago. This time, to let the wind lightning purple lightning beast come out was because sect leader will lowered his face and begged many times before he got what he wanted. In truth, the wind lightning purple lightning beast saw that Gantian Mountain sect kept on giving it spiritual herbs, so it reluctantly came out. It was just that sect master himself knew about these things, but it was impossible for him to tell others. If other people knew that his Gantian Mountain sect couldn't control this ancient spirit beast, it would definitely cause other sects to covet it. Who knows, ancient-level people might even target them. That would be a calamity that could wipe out the sect. Above the ancient sects, there were few things that could restrict them. Moreover, many ancient sects were maverick and specialized in killing and robbing people. In the past, when that ancient sect was destroyed, wasn't it because they had treasures and were targeted by others? This was why this thing was like that. An innocent man would get into trouble because of his treasures. Sect leader wasn't stupid and didn't dare to say the truth. He pulled this purple lightning beast out to show off initially because he wanted to raise his sect's prestige in front of these hidden aristocratic families and sects, to shock them. To let them see that although Gantian Mountain sect didn't have a heaven realm expert, they had an even stronger ancient spirit beast. Now that the situation had developed to this point, it wasn't as simple as just showing off. He wanted to eliminate Lin Yi. Even if he didn't hide the treasures given to him by the Zhao family and other aristocratic families, he would still eliminate Lin Yi. After all, Lin Yi killed his nephew, Wujin Dao. Oh, since sect leader has made such a big sacrifice, then we can't take advantage of it for nothing. Isn't it just a bet? All right, the hidden Han family, won't take advantage of others for nothing. As Lin Yi said that, he turned to look at Han Tianba and said, "What does Elder Han think? Since Mr. Lin has said so, then we'll do as Mr. Lin says." Han Tianba naturally wouldn't have any objections to Lin Yi's decision, so he nodded and agreed. "All right, Xiaopa, go take out another treasure and give it to sect leader Wa." Lin Yi ordered Han Xiaopa. Yes. Han Xiaopa nodded and left the meeting hall. For an Earth-class practitioner like Han Xiaopa, it was only a matter of minutes for him to return to his temporary residence. Soon, he came back with a treasure. Lin Yi took a look at it. It was a spiritual fruit that could be consumed by spiritual beasts. It could increase their strength by a small amount, but just a small amount was already amazing. One had to know that spiritual beasts didn't have any spiritual arts to train. They relied on absorbing spiritual energy to level up slowly. Therefore, Many spiritual beasts from the ancient times were rare to have a golden class beast. Mystic class spiritual beasts were all heaven-defying existences. If they took out their inner core and used it for alchemy, it would definitely be a great supplement. Even the Sky Elixir sect would be tempted by it. This was also why Yu Lu and the others were so excited when they saw General Wei Wu, a mystic class spiritual beast. If they could capture it, even if they didn't keep it for themselves, they could still exchange it for a lot of good stuff. Of course, they only dared to do this because they saw that General Wei Wu wasn't a threat. If Meng Yao knew about these theories and let General Wei Wu act a little more domineering, pretending to be an ancient spiritual beast with an attack attribute, Yu Lu and the others wouldn't have dared to act so rashly. This spiritual fruit didn't have much use for Lin Yi, but for the Qinshan sect, it would be very useful. Lin Yi laughed in his heart. This Han Xiaopa was indeed his follower. He really knew how to pick things. Actually, it wasn't that Han Xiaopa knew how to pick things, but he felt that Lin Yi didn't have a spiritual beast, so there was no use for it. Giving it to the Qinshan sect was a little too cheap, but since Boss Lin Yi had asked him to do this, he must have thought of a countermeasure in the last match. He wouldn't be at a disadvantage, so he'd let the Qinshan sect be happy for now. When Boss won the championship, he wouldn't even have time to cry. One had to say, this follower of Han Xiaopa had the potential to read people's expressions. It was just that he didn't know that Lin Yi had a spiritual beast, so it was a lucky hit. If he knew that Lin Yi had a spiritual beast, he probably wouldn't have taken it out. Chapter 2140. As Lin Yi spoke, he pushed the spiritual fruit to sect leader Wa and said, "Don't blame me when something happens to your spirit beast. Of course, with so many family elders and sect leaders as witnesses, since I took out this spirit beast, I have the awareness of losing it." Sect leader was overjoyed when he saw what Lin Yi handed over. He recalled Lin Yi's words in his heart and felt very disdainful. "You, Lin Yi, want to touch an ancient spirit beast? That's a pipe dream." From sect leader was point of view, Lin Yi's confidence was inflated after he defeated the spiritual wolf. He thought that he could do anything to the purple electric wind and thunder beast. He was really an idiot. Even if Lin Yi directly used his earth-shattering killer move to kill Ma Dashin of the Golden Bell sect, he couldn't do anything to the purple electric wind and thunder beast. The reason why this purple electric wind and thunder beast was called the purple electric wind and thunder beast was not for nothing. Its physical attributes were beyond the 5 elements. It had both wind and thunder attributes. The wind attribute was reflected in speed, depending on the wind speed, so it was called the wind attribute. The thunder attribute couldn't be reflected now, but once the purple electric wind and thunder beast leveled up to a certain level, it could use martial skills. That martial skill was purple lightning, which was a fatal blow to the enemy. So, the purple electric wind and thunder beast had rough skin and thick flesh, so it wouldn't be affected by Lin Yi. Even if it realized something was wrong, it could use the speed of the wind to escape. In this way, it was impossible for Lin Yi to do anything to the purple electric wind and thunder beast. Good, since sect leader was so magnanimous, then I didn't give this spiritual fruit in vain. Lin Yi smiled slightly. He wanted to hear this from sect leader Wa. Otherwise, if something happened to his ancient spirit beast, he wouldn't let it go. All right, since everyone has reached a consensus, I will announce the rules of the last additional round. Old Man Zhao said, "This round is called the Spiritual Beast Duel." The Spirit Beast sparring competition was a competition in which the contestants would be placed in the same space as their spirit beasts. Whoever could last the longest would be the victor, and the second and third place will be decided according to how long they lasted. Of course, although this competition was called the Spirit Beast Competition, it didn't mean that you had to fight against spirit beasts. You could hide and express goodwill to spirit beasts. Of course, if you didn't mind dying, you could also forcefully resist. Therefore, this competition was a comprehensive test for the participants. However, this competition was also abnormally dangerous. If one did not have a certain level of ability, it would not be an exaggeration to die on the spot. Therefore, those who are timid and afraid of trouble can admit defeat and not participate. Although Elder Zhao had said that they could concede, that was because of the rules of the tournament. After all, not all disciples of hidden houses and sects would want to die. You couldn't just force them to concede, right? However, Elder Zhao was afraid that Lin Yi would concede as well, so he purposely glanced at Lin Yi when he spoke. However, seeing Lin Yi's calm face, Elder Zhao relaxed. It seemed that Lin Yi wouldn't give up. This was good. As long as Lin Yi didn't give up, he would die for sure. All right, that's the rules for this round. If there's anyone who doesn't want to participate, concede immediately, and you can avoid danger. Elder Zhao said, those who don't concede will draw lots, and according to the order, the Spirit Beast duel will begin. There is no time limit, so if we can't finish today, we will continue tomorrow. First, I represent the hidden house Zhao to withdraw. Old Zhao's announcement surprised everyone, but right after that, old you from the hidden house you spoke up as well. We, the hidden house you, are leaving as well. We, the hidden house Shuang, are just here to watch the show. This extra round, let's forget about it. Elder Zhuang said. The hidden house you also withdraws. Elder Yu said faintly. Although Yu Dake had returned to the hidden house Yu, he didn't use his injuries as an excuse to not participate. Elder Yu, on the other hand, didn't suspect anything. He only checked his injuries and found out that they were indeed healed by the circulation pill and the meridian opening pill. There was still some medicine left in his body that hadn't been refined, so he didn't suspect anything wrong with Yu Dake. The hidden house Yu had no lack of masters to rely on, but an Earth-class mid-phase master had healed himself and returned to the hidden house Yu. There was no reason for Elder Yu to reject. Although it's a bit shameful to withdraw, the hidden house Tang should also give up. Elder Tang smiled. Lin Yi narrowed his eyes. He didn't expect so many hidden houses to withdraw from the last extra round. This was a double wager, didn't they want it? However, their actions also gave Lin Yi a wake-up call. It seemed like this last round wasn't friendly. It seemed like these people already knew the difficulty of the last round, so they all chose to withdraw. Thus, the remaining contestants were the Qinshan Gate, the Golden Clock Gate, the Fire Wolf Gang, the Hidden House Pai, and the Hidden House Han, which was represented by Lin Yi. This meant that half of the contestants had withdrawn. This was unprecedented in the previous rounds. All right, if that's the case, the remaining 5 houses will draw lots to decide the order. Elder Zhao said. Under Elder Zhao's arrangement, the 5 houses came up to draw lots, and the order was also decided. First was the Hidden House Pai, followed by the Fire Wolf Gang, the Golden Clock Gate, the Hidden House Han, and the Qinshan Gate. The Qinshan Gate was the last. He didn't know if it was a coincidence, or if they did something to the draw, but Lin Yi didn't care about these small details. It didn't matter. After the order was decided, everyone walked out of the meeting hall and went to the martial arts field behind it. At this moment, the martial arts field was already set up. There was a huge metal cage with a strange spirit beast inside. This spirit beast looked like a Qilin beast, but not completely. It had a single horn on its head and looked like a cross between a unicorn heavenly horse and a Qilin beast. It would be more accurate to say that it was not a beast. Chapter 2141. No problem. The representative from the Hidden House Pai was Pai Zhihai. He was participating this time to train his willpower. He was a physical practitioner and was already at Earth Class early phase peak. If he didn't have an opportunity, it would be hard for him to break through again. So he had to find a chance to break through the limits of his body. This spirit beast trial was dangerous, but there were always opportunities. Just like the Ice Palace trial, many people still participated despite knowing the dangers. All right, please come over. When nodded, he didn't hate the Hidden House Pai, so he used beast language to tell the purple lightning beast to mess with Pai Zhihai and force him to admit defeat. It didn't have to kill him. This purple electric wind thunder beast could actually understand the human language. This kind of ancient spiritual beast with spiritual intelligence was extraordinarily intelligent. However, in its eyes, it couldn't even be bothered to communicate with a weakling like Sect Master Wa. Therefore, the purple electric wind thunder beast only snorted and didn't agree or disagree. It gave Sect Master one ambiguous answer. Fine, as long as you don't hurt Argon Mountain sect disciples. We saw the purple lightning beast's attitude and had no choice but to go for the next best thing. Pai Jihai entered the cage and stared nervously at the purple electric storm beast. He didn't dare to be careless. In the next moment, the purple electric storm beast charged at Pai Jihai like a madman. Pai Jihai jumped in fright and ran for his life. As a result, a miraculous scene appeared. Inside the cage, Pai Jihai was running in front while the violet lightning tempest beast was chasing behind. However, the violet lightning tempest beast was clearly not using its full strength because sect leader Wall knew that the violet lightning tempest beast's speed was much faster than this. But no matter how fast Pai Jihai ran, the purple lightning beast always maintained a certain distance between them. Pai Jihai ran as fast as he could, but the purple lightning wind and thunder beast followed him at a steady pace, as if it was toying with him. Seeing this, Will let out a sigh of relief. It seemed like the purple thunderbolt beast was giving him some face. As long as it didn't harm Jihai's life, it wouldn't be considered as offending the hidden house Pai. However, Gate Leader knew this, but the others didn't. The purple electric storm beast was chasing after Pai Jihai, and Pai Jihai was running like crazy. Old Master Pai was sweating profusely. Pai Jihai originally had the mentality of gaining experience, but he didn't expect this purple electric tempest beast to be so fast. Previously, he had wanted to take the opportunity to launch a sneak attack on the violet lightning beast. But now, it seemed that forget about launching a sneak attack. It would be good enough if the violet lightning beast did not launch a sneak attack. After 2 laps, the purple electric tempest beast was getting a little bored and annoyed. You're just a little Earth-class, early-stage, peak physical practitioner, and you dare to show off in front of me? I've chased you for 2 laps. If you don't kneel down and admit defeat, why are you still running? Therefore, the purple lightning tempest beast wanted to teach Pai Jihai a lesson. It suddenly roared and sped up. I admit defeat. I admit defeat. Pai Jihai finally gave in. He was scared. It wasn't worth it to be killed here by this purple lightning tempest beast. Gate Leader thought to himself, you should have admitted defeat long ago. How strong do you think you are? And you want to arm wrestle with a purple lightning tempest beast? In front of a heaven-class early-stage master, this purple lightning tempest beast was not inferior, let alone a little Earth-class early-stage peak physical practitioner. All right, I'll open the door to the cage. You can come out. Gate Leader was said calmly on the surface. However, the moment Gate Master opened the cage, the purple electric beast slapped Pai Jihai's back with its claws. Although the claw didn't land, it still left a large patch of blood on Pai Jihai's back. Pai Jihai stumbled out of the cage and spat out a mouthful of blood. His face was extremely pale, and he didn't even manage to stand outside the cage for a few seconds before collapsing to the ground. Jihai. Elder Pai's eyes flashed with worry and remorse. If he knew this purple lightning tempest beast was so strong, he wouldn't have let Pai Jihai go. He almost died. Pai Jihai was the hope of the hidden house, Pai's younger generation. Pai Jishan was in charge of the house, and Pai Jihai focused on martial arts. With the two of them working together, the hidden house Pai would slowly prosper, but if Pai Jihai died here, then it wouldn't be worth it. Grandpa, I feel like there's a strange chi in my body. Ugh. Pai Jihai spat out another mouthful of blood and fainted. Elder Pai was hateful. He had nothing better to do. Why did he have to agree to let Pai Jihai train? What was there to train? No wonder so many houses chose to give up. They were the smart ones. Jihai, your body. Elder Pai saw that Pai Jihai had fainted and panicked, but he wasn't a spiritual master and couldn't check Jihai's condition. He had no choice but to look at Gate Leader for help. Elder Pai, please accept my condolences. This ancient spirit beast, purple lightning wind beast, is very powerful. If I'm not wrong, your grandson's body has been injected with the pure energy of spirit beasts. This pure energy is similar to the pure energy of heaven and earth. We can only ask a heaven-class master to try and refine it otherwise. Although Sect Leader Wall didn't say the rest, Elder Pai could guess that it was definitely not going to be a good thing. Sigh. Elder Pai sighed and looked at Elder Zhao, Elder Yu, Elder Tang, and a few other Sky-class masters, wanting to ask them for help. However, These old men were like old students in meditation, looking straight ahead. None of them came forward to help. It wasn't that they didn't want to help, but it was because it wasn't a good job to help others refine their true chi. If they weren't careful and didn't refine it cleanly, the true chi would run into their own bodies. That would be a disaster for them. Chapter 2142. Of course, this was for normal practitioners, except for Lin Yi. Lin Yi's art of dragon mastery was different from normal practitioners, and he didn't need to absorb chi from the chi high point. He could absorb chi from any point in his body, and the pure chi from the beast's body could be directly absorbed and converted by Lin Yi. Lin Yi couldn't convert other types of energy because Lin Yi didn't have Zhang Naipeo's skills. He couldn't convert all the chi into his own, but he could absorb pure chi for his own use. This was also the reason why Lin Yi was able to absorb chi from General Wei Wu and Skybowl Pig. Lin Yi, on the other hand, used the art of dragon mastery to automatically convert the energy needed by the recipient according to the practitioner's arts. Lin Yi, on the other hand, transferred it directly into their body, saving them the process of absorbing and converting it through the chi high point. Lin Yi's body was filled with pure energy, but he didn't need to do it himself. But at a time like this, Lin Yi naturally wouldn't help the Hidden House Pie. Lin Yi had a grudge with the Hidden House Pie, and even if he didn't, Lin Yi wouldn't be interested in their business. Old Master Zhao saw that everyone else was indifferent inside. He had no choice but to walk over by himself. He was the host, so he couldn't just sit back and do nothing. However, if he wanted to get involved in this matter, he had to figure out if it was worth it or not, and if he could get involved. Old Man Zhao walked over, and Old Man Pai immediately felt grateful. Old Man Zhao, thank you. You're welcome. It's hard to say if he can be healed or not. Old Man Zhao waved his hand and didn't say anything. He just stretched out his hand and checked Pai Zhihai's meridians. However, after checking, he frowned deeply. Old Pai was shocked, but he didn't dare say anything. Secmaster was shook his head. He knew that the Violet Lightning Beast was angry. However, the Violet Lightning Beast had already given him face by not killing Pai Zhihai with a single slap. That was an ancient spiritual beast with the bloodline of a divine beast. How could it possibly listen to Sect Master with commands? It wasn't the headmaster's contracted spirit beast. It was reasonable for him to punish someone like Zhihai. This is not easy. This is indeed pure spiritual energy of the world, but I can't absorb and refine it. Old Zhao said, if I force it into my body, I won't be able to do it. I'm sorry, but there's too much chi in your grandson's body. This. Old Pai's heart sank after listening to Old Zhao's words. Old Zhao, how can I save my grandson? I'm willing to pay the price. Old Zhao shook his head. This wasn't easy, and it wasn't easy to get the reward either. If he couldn't absorb it, he would have to find a way to force it out. This was a huge price to pay, and if he went mad, it wouldn't be worth it. Elder Yu, and Elder Tang were older generation Sky class masters, and they had encountered this kind of thing many times. There were people who begged them, and they tried, but it all ended in failure. Pai Zhihai had a lot of pure chi in his body, and even if there was just a bit, it would be very difficult to force it out. So they didn't even think about trying. They wouldn't do it no matter how much money was given. It would affect their cultivation. I can't do anything about it. I think we should let our Zhao family's king pharmacist take a look. If he can't do anything, then I can't do anything. Old man, Zhao shook his head and said. In fact, he didn't have any hope for this. Okay, thank you. Old Pai didn't know, but having hope was better than having no hope at all. He quickly carried Zhihai and went to find Yao Wang with the disciple Old Zhao arranged. The second to go up was the disciple of the Firewolf gang. Seeing how badly Pai Zhihai was beaten up, and Mingwei didn't seem to be affected at all. She didn't seem worried at all, and still let her own disciple go up. First match, Hidden House, Pai Disciple, lasted 7 minutes and 49 seconds. Second match, Firewolves Gang Disciples, get ready. Old Zhao announced the results. Headmaster saw the Firewolves Gang Disciple walk over and open the door, letting him in. After the Firewolf Gang Disciple entered the cage, he seemed to ignore the purple electric tempest beast. He just stood there foolishly and did nothing. This situation made the purple electric tempest beast slightly stunned. It thought to itself, is there something wrong with this person? Just standing there like an idiot? He didn't even try to hide? So the purple lightning beast tried to chase after the Firewolves gang disciple and play with him. But the Firewolves gang disciple didn't care at all. He just stood there like an idiot, as if whatever the purple lightning beast was doing had nothing to do with the Firewolves gang disciple. Seeing this situation, the purple electric tempest beast was a little annoyed. It tried to pounce over, but the Firewolf gang disciple was still indifferent. The purple electric tempest beast also lost its temper this time. It slapped the Firewolf gang's disciple and sent him tumbling. But the Firewolves gang disciple wasn't as useless as Jihai. After falling on the ground, he didn't beg for mercy. After a while, he stood up shakily and didn't move an inch. The purple electric tempest beast was puzzled. Who was this person? He got hit and acted like nothing happened? Was there something wrong with this person? However, since this person continued to stay here after being beaten and did not run away, the purple electric tempest beast had no reason to keep him alive. It walked over and gave the Fire Wolf gang disciple another slap, causing him to fall to the ground. This time, the Fire Wolves gang disciple didn't get up so quickly. The elders watching from the outside shook their heads. They knew that the Fire Wolves gang disciple was weird. He wasn't afraid of being beaten or killed, but this time, he probably couldn't make it. Fire Wolves gang disciple, are you dead or alive? If you don't stand up, then you lose. Old Zhao pondered and asked. After all, if he died on the spot, then it wouldn't count as the result of the match. Chapter 2143. The purple electric beast was speechless. Was this person looking for death? Looking at him, one more slap and he would probably die, right? However, the purple electric beast had no sympathy. Since you came in and didn't run or beg for mercy, then just wait for death. Hence, the purple electric beast of wind and thunder slapped over once again, causing the Fire Wolf gang's disciple to tumble. This time, the Fire Wolf gang disciple did not move. At the same time, Mingwei said, "All right, we admit defeat. We've endured to our limit. Let him out." He could still come out? Everyone was stunned, but the gang leader still opened the cage. The Fire Wolf gang disciple on the ground miraculously moved again, but he could not stand up. Instead, he crawled out of the cage and went all the way to Mingwei's side. And Mingwei gave a few instructions to a trusted subordinate beside her, and the subordinate took the injured disciple away. As for where they went, only Mingwei knew. The other elders present did not know. However, they would not deliberately investigate. This Fire Wolf gang was very secretive, even more secretive than the Everyday and Everyday Sun sect. It was a new big gang that rose up in the last 20 years. Even the ancient sects did not dare to provoke them, so no one would bother with their business. Since the disciple was not dead when he came out, even though he admitted defeat, the results of the competition were still valid. Therefore, Old Master Zhao directly announced, in the second round, the Fire Wolf gang disciple lasted for 9 minutes and 8 seconds. It had to be said that the Fire Wolf gang disciple had fallen a few times, but he actually lasted longer than Pai Jihai. He was actually in the lead now. In the third round, the disciple who went up to compete is the disciple of the Golden Bell sect. After Old Master Zhao announced the results, he continued with the next round. It was the disciple of the Golden Bell sect's turn. This time, Jin Gang was a little hesitant. Of his 2 previous disciples, one was dead and the other was injured. The one who died was his favorite disciple, and the one who was injured was also a genius disciple. However, when Jin Gang saw how injured Pai Jihai and the Fire Wolf gang's disciples were, he didn't have much hope. Pai Jihai was injected with true chi by the spirit beast, but Diamond Drill was not worried about this. After all, the Golden Bell could isolate true chi. However, he was afraid that this disciple's Golden Bell would not be able to defend against the spirit beast's attack. If he was seriously injured, then the gains would not make up for the losses. Thinking of this, Jin Gang instructed the disciple beside him. After you enter, learn from the Fire Wolf gang's disciple and stand there for a while. As long as the ancient spiritual beast doesn't attack you, you can buy some time. When it chases after you, run. If it catches up to you, catch it for a while. If you feel like you can't hold on any longer, quickly surrender and don't continue fighting. Yes, the disciple of the Golden Bell sect also knew the importance of the matter, so he nodded and replied. Therefore, after the Golden Bell sect's disciples entered the cage, they followed the Fire Wolf Gang's disciples and stood there in a daze. However, this move was obviously useless. The Purple Lightning Tempest Beast saw that this person was also using this move. It didn't even bother to try and scare him and directly slapped him. Pong! The Golden Bell sect disciple didn't know what was going on, but he was slapped to the ground. Because of the Golden Bell shield, he suffered some injuries, but they were only minor injuries. However, he didn't dare to stay any longer. Since this Purple Electric Tempest Beast could break his Golden Bell shield, he would definitely die if it hit him a few more times. Therefore, the Golden Bell sect's disciple was decisive and didn't get up from the ground. He said, "I surrender." What came to the door of the cage, and the Golden Bell sect's disciple got up from the ground and ran out. It took him less than a minute to run, becoming the contestant who lasted the shortest time. Jean Gang saw the whole process and sighed helplessly. His disciple was unlucky. The previous two moves were used by the Hidden House Pie and Fire Wolf Gang's disciples. He didn't know if the Purple Lightning Tempest Beast was tired of playing with it or something, but the moment it came up, it slapped his disciple to the ground. Fortunately, his disciple was fine, or else Jean Gang would regret it even more. For the third match, the Golden Bell sect's disciple lasted 38 seconds. Elder Zhao announced, for the fourth match, the contestant is from the Hidden House Han. The Hidden House Han disciple, please come up. At this moment, be it old Zhao or sect leader, they were all really nervous. Lin Yi's ranking was so low. After watching the first few battles, would he just give up? If he gave up, then all the preparations would be for nothing. They really didn't do anything to the order of the lots. After all, such small details could easily be criticized. Therefore, they all stared at Lin Yi, waiting to see what Lin Yi would choose. Boss, why don't we just give up? This ancient spiritual beast is really quite scary. Han Xiaopao lowered his voice at this point. Moreover, I suspect that Sect Master Wall can interact with this ancient spiritual beast. What if he makes that ancient spiritual beast harm you, boss? You must know that you killed his disciple and the spiritual wolf. Don't worry. Lin Yi smiled and calmly walked toward the cage on the stage. Phew! Those who saw Lin Yi walk over all heaved a sigh of relief. Elder Tang sighed. It seemed like Lin Yi was dead for sure this time. Tang Yu's good karma would be useless in the future. As for the elders who wanted to kill Lin Yi, they were unusually excited, especially with Jin Dao, who was extremely happy. He instructed the Purple Electric Wind Thunder Beast in beast language. In a while, when this guy enters the cage, kill him directly. Don't hold back. You must kill him. Whether he begs for mercy or not, kill him directly. Roar, the Purple Electric Wind Thunder Beast, seemed to disagree with Jin Dao's tone. Do you see this? This is a spiritual fruit. If you kill that person, it's yours. Jin Dao pulled up his sleeves and revealed the spiritual fruit that Lin Yi had given him to the Purple Electric Wind Thunder Beast. Roar! The Purple Electric Wind Thunder Beast narrowed its eyes, as if agreeing to Jin Dao's request. Hee, Lin, we didn't even dream of this, right? The spiritual fruit you gave me will become the key to your path to hell. If not for this thing, the Purple Electric Wind Thunder Beast wouldn't have agreed so easily. Chapter 2144. Lin Yi walked to the front of the cage. He opened the cage quietly and allowed Lin Yi to walk in. What the crowd didn't expect was that Lin Yi walked into the cage. He didn't dodge or hide, but walked straight towards the Purple Electric Beast. Including the Purple Electric Beast, everyone was stunned. Was Lin Yi crazy? Was he here to die? Just as the crowd was puzzled and the Purple Electric Beast was confused, Lin Yi used a voice that only the Purple Electric Beast could hear. I know you can understand what I'm saying. I also know that wants to kill me, but I have a suggestion. You should follow me. It's better than following him. Roar? The purple electric beast was stunned. It didn't expect Lin Yi to use a technique like true chi transmission. Only Heaven Realm Masters could use this technique, and not all Heaven Realm Masters could use it. This purple electric beast had lived for tens of thousands of years. It was naturally knowledgeable. Moreover, Lin Yi actually knew that it could understand human language. Even the people from Qian Mountain Gate didn't know this, right? Moreover, what confused the purple electric beast the most was that Lin Yi said that following him was better than following Qian Mountain Gate. What did that mean? Ha! You'll know soon. Don't resist. Lin Yi walked over, stretched out his hand, and placed it on the purple electric beast's body. He used the first stage of the art of dragon mastery and transferred a small amount of energy into the purple electric beast's body. The purple electric beast was shocked, its eyes filled with shock and disbelief. It looked at Lin Yi, speechless. Was this real? This person in front of it could actually transfer energy to it? What the purple lightning beast needed the most was energy to level up. Otherwise, it wouldn't have been able to stay in Qianshan's sect for so many years. But it could be said that although Lin Yi had only transferred a sliver of energy, it was extremely pure, comparable to 10 years of training. The spiritual fruit that had taken out earlier, on the other hand, didn't even give it 1/100th of the energy that Lin Yi had just given it. Hence, the purple electric tempest beast really went a little crazy. It looked at Lin Yi and thought about everything, but it didn't completely believe him. After all, its intelligence was very high. Just this one moment wasn't enough to make it completely believe Lin Yi. Lin Yi didn't say much, only smiling faintly as he activated the first stage of the art of dragon mastery once more, sending a bit more energy over. This time, the purple electric tempest beast no longer doubted it. It finally believed that there was someone who could help it increase its strength. This time, the purple electric beast didn't doubt him anymore. It finally believed that someone could help it increase its strength. I have one. It's my little brother now. I've already raised it from yellow to mystic. It's only a matter of time before it reaches Earth. Lin Yi saw that the purple electric beast believed him, so he threw out another sweet offer. Sky Thunder Pig? The purple electric beast was also a divine beast passed down from ancient times. It naturally knew about treasure-seeking spiritual beasts like the Sky Thunder Pig. In ancient times, the Sky Thunder Pig had another nickname, Fortune Pig. In other words, it could find anything valuable. The purple electric beast was a little envious of the Sky Thunder Pig's ability. How could it not have heard of it? However, which cultivators still knew about the Sky Thunder Pig? This Skybolt Pig was the same as the purple Thunderbolt Beast. They were both ancient spirit beasts with the bloodline of a mythical beast. They had gone extinct a long time ago, and this Lin Yi knew about the Skybolt Pig. He didn't make it up. He really did have it. Therefore, the purple electric beast didn't suspect anything. It quickly nodded its head, expressing its willingness to follow Lin Yi. What a joke. With such a great benefit, wouldn't the purple electric beast follow Lin Yi? Wouldn't it be an idiot? It wasn't a contracted spiritual beast of the Qianshan sect, so it had nothing to do with the Qianshan sect. Although it had eaten a lot of spiritual herbs and treasures, it had also protected the Qianshan sect for so many years as a guardian spiritual beast. Both sides didn't owe each other anything. The Qianshan sect was the one that built the sect at the place where the purple electric beast cultivated. The Qianshan sect owed it. Okay. If that's the case, when the disciple from the Qianshan sect comes in, kill him with one slap. Lin Yi said to the purple electric beast, "This is also your proof of loyalty." Roar. The purple electric beast nodded its head, indicating that it had no problem. It wasn't an idiot. Naturally, it knew that to follow a new master, it must show some sincerity. However, the purple electric beast didn't feel any pressure betraying the Qianshan sect. The two were originally in a cooperative relationship. The sect master used the purple electric beast to show off in front of others. If it wasn't willing to cooperate, it could naturally terminate the contract. Then you play by yourself. I'll cultivate here for a while. As soon as Lin Yi finished speaking, he sat cross-legged on the ground and began cultivating the second stage of the art of dragon mastery. He had just broken through to the middle stage of the Earth class, so Lin, he had to consolidate his strength. The purple thunderbolt beast naturally wouldn't disturb Lin Yi. It couldn't wait to please Lin Yi. After all, Lin Yi was a great character that could help it level up. Just the benefits that the purple thunderbolt beast had received were enough for it to cultivate for a long time. From the looks of it, Lin Yi hadn't used his full strength. He only gave it a little benefit. Therefore, the purple electric beast had to perform well so that Lin Yi would value it enough and give it more benefits. However, Lin Yi sitting cross-legged in the cage and cultivating made the people outside widen their eyes. What was going on? Why wasn't the purple electric beast attacking Lin Yi? Not only that, Lin Yi was still cultivating there fearlessly. Wasn't he afraid of the purple electric beast? Therefore, old Zhao, old Yu, old Tang, and the others all turned to look at the sect master of the Qinshan sect. However, with Han Tianba and Han Xiaopa nearby, they couldn't ask directly. After all, using a spirit beast to kill Lin Yi wasn't something to be proud of. The meeting of the hidden houses was supposed to be fair and just on the surface. Who knew if the people from the ancient level were paying attention? If they were to be seen by those people, none of them would be able to escape responsibility. Sect Master was also very puzzled. What was wrong with the purple electric beast? Didn't they agree to let it help kill Lin Yi? Why are you ignoring me when things have come to a head? Purple electric beast, what are you doing? Quickly go kill Lin Yi. Sect Master, we used beast language to speak to the purple electric beast. Chapter 21:45. But Lin Yi didn't bother with him. Since the beast had already submitted, he could say whatever he wanted. If the Gone Mountain sect had enough to move the beast, it would have submitted a long time ago. Why would it wait until now to follow Lin Yi? Lin Yi channeled his arts, feeling a little regretful that it wasn't as fast as when Xin Yan was by his side. Xin Yan was like a moving treasure, and even Lin Yi wasn't used to it. I'm going. It'll be up to you later. Lin Yi opened his eyes and gave an order to the purple lightning beast. He walked towards the door of the cage. Master Wa, open the cage. This purple lightning beast is really scared of me. I've been training for half a day, and it hasn't reacted at all. Being the champion of this tournament is so boring. What arrogance. You've only been in there for half an hour. Don't think that you're the champion for sure. Gate Master was troubled, not knowing what went wrong, but he still said coldly, the one who laughs at the end is the champion. Oh, Lin Yi replied faintly and walked towards Han Xiaopa. Gate Master frowned. This Lin Yi was just ignoring him. It pissed him off, but there was nothing he could do. In the fourth round, the Hidden House Han has lasted 31 minutes and 25 seconds, maintaining the lead. Next, the last contestant, Gone Mountain sect disciples, please enter the stage. Old Zhao announced expressionlessly, but he was hating inside. This gate master had said it so well before, but now he dropped the ball at the last moment. He still wanted the treasure. Old Zhao had already decided not to give it to him. Lin Yi wasn't dead, so what was there to give? Old Yu, Old Tang, and the others had the same thought. They wouldn't give anything to Gone Mountain sect. Lin Yi was fine, and even if he didn't get first, he'd be second. This Hidden House Summit was a failure. A Qinshan sect disciple went up. This disciple was the one who usually reared the purple lightning wind thunderbeast. Although he didn't establish a contract with the purple lightning wind thunderbeast, he was the disciple in Qinshan sect who was most familiar with the purple lightning wind thunderbeast. Therefore, it wouldn't be a problem for him to participate in the competition for as long as he wanted. Go ask the wind thunder beast why he didn't kill Lin Yi. Sect leader ordered the Gantian sect disciple when he opened the cage. Okay. The disciple readily agreed and walked into the cage. He was a little displeased as he scolded the purple lightning beast. Hey, purple lightning beast, why don't you kill Lin Yi? Did our Gone Mountain sect treat you well for nothing? All these years, we let you cultivate, gave you good food, and didn't you do anything? If this disciple had spoken nicely, the purple electric storm beast might not have killed him on account of their old friendship. It would have been fine if it had just crippled him. However, this birdman had questioned him the moment he opened his mouth, causing the purple electric storm beast to be extremely displeased. Who are you? You're just a small disciple from Gone Mountain sect, and It was Gate Master was ordered to feed me. Do you think he did something? Moreover, it was your Qinshan sect that built the sect at the place where I cultivated. I didn't find trouble with you, and instead became your sect's divine beast for so many years. If I wasn't here, how could your Qinshan sect become a famous sect? With your strength, you're just a common house's strength. Don't talk about Sky Class, you don't even have an Earth Class late phase peak. So, the Purple Lightning Beast didn't say a word, slapping the Gone Mountain sect disciple to the ground. He cried out in pain and instantly turned into a meat patty. The Gone Mountain sect disciple didn't understand why the Purple Lightning Beast would betray them and why it would suddenly show its prowess. However, he probably would never be able to ask that question. This tragic scene made everyone present dumbfounded. Before this, the most tragic ones were Pai Jihai and the Fire Wolfgang disciple. As for Lin Yi, he was an accident. However, compared to the Gone Mountain sect, disciple being slapped to death by the Purple Lightning Beast wasn't much of an accident at all. What Jinsha? Gate Master was shouted out in grief. What Jinsha was one of the disciples he had high hopes for. If not, he wouldn't let him come into contact with the Purple Lightning Beast. However, he was slapped to death by the Purple Lightning Beast. Gate Master was simply couldn't believe it. The others exchanged glances with one another, not knowing what the Gone Mountain sect was doing. Linny didn't die, but their own disciple died. Could it be that Gate Master and the Purple Lightning Beast didn't communicate clearly, causing the Purple Lightning Beast to misunderstand and think that they killed their disciple? Thinking of this, the elders and sect leaders who participated in the competition felt that they were lucky. It seemed that the Purple Electric Storm Beast wasn't easy to communicate with. If the Purple Electric Storm Beast misunderstood them as killing their disciples, they would be in trouble. Purple Lightning Beast, what is the meaning of this? I asked you to kill Linny. How did you kill our Gone Mountain sect disciple? Gate Master roared furiously. The Purple Lightning Beast looked at Gate Master with furious expression and didn't even bother with him. A small cultivator dared to point fingers at it? One had to know that it was an ancient spiritual beast with the bloodline of a divine beast. If it was Lin, an amazing cultivator who could help it level up, scolding it, then forget it. But what did Gate Master have to do that? How dare he be so arrogant? Roar! The Purple Thunderbolt Beast rolled its eyes and swung its paw out, breaking the cage. Then, the Purple Thunderbolt Beast ran to Lin Yi's side, looking at Lin Yi as if it was trying to get on his good side. Not bad. Lin Yi touched the fluff on the forehead of the Purple Lightning Beast and said, "Roar, roar." The Purple Lightning Beast nodded repeatedly as if it enjoyed it. It had to please Lin Yi. It had the same thought as the original Sky Thunderpig. It was too slow to level up. This Lin Yi could help it level up, which meant that he was a person with great supernatural power. Even those almighties in the ancient times didn't have such abilities. Therefore, the Purple Lightning Beast subconsciously respected Lin Yi. Chapter 2146. If the previous situation was already shocking enough, then now, this Purple Lightning Beast coming to Lin Yi's side to curry favor with him, the shock it gave them was far beyond what they had seen before. Why did this Purple Lightning Beast betray Qinshan Gate to please Lin Yi? What did this mean? Han Tianba and Han Xiaopa were nervous when they saw the Purple Lightning Beast running towards Lin Yi, but they never thought that the Purple Lightning Beast would be so subservient to please Lin Yi. Lin Yi, so it was you. Gate Master reacted the fastest. He seemed to understand something and jumped up. He pointed at Lin Yi and shouted, "What did you do to our Qinshan Gate's spirit beast?" "Me? What did I do?" Lin Yi shrugged. "In this spirit beast competition, there's no rule against tampering, right?" This Gate Master was stunned. Indeed, there was no such rule in the competition. After all, when he set up the rule, he never thought that someone would actually be able to do anything to the Wind Thunder Beast. The Wind Thunder Beast was an ancient spiritual beast. Whoever dared to do anything to it must be tired of living. However, Linny did it, and he did it very thoroughly. Not only was he fine, but he also let the Purple Lightning Beast kill the Qinshan Gate's disciple. Would Jinsha? Elder Zhao, now that the results of the competition are out, can you announce it? Lin Yi said faintly. In fact, he didn't think that he would be able to subdue an ancient spirit beast so easily, but this was good too. This meant that he had one more trump card. This purple lightning beast seemed to be very powerful, but he didn't know if it could fight against a heaven-class master. Ahem, of course. Elder Zhao thought that this was very strange, and he didn't want Lin Yi to pick up a spirit beast for no reason, but he still announced, the last additional competition. The champion is the Hidden House Han, the second is the Fire Wolf Gang, and the third is the Hidden House Pie. Please come and claim your winnings. Wait a minute, Lin Yi, you have to explain everything clearly. What did you do to the spirit beast? How could sect leader will let the matter rest just like that? He raised his hand and placed it right in front of Lin. You took advantage of the situation to steal my spirit beast. Are you sick? Are you a sore loser? Lin Yi looked at sect leader Wa and said coldly, Elder Zhao, during the Hidden House Summit, if someone comes looking for trouble, what will happen? We will report it to the ancient sects. Elder Zhao was startled. Although he didn't want to, he could only force himself to say it. The ancient people might be watching nearby, and they wouldn't be able to detect a heaven-class late-phase peak master. So Elder Zhao couldn't say anything that went against his principles. Elder Zhao, this isn't looking for trouble. Sect leader would cup his fist and said, This Lin Yi tricked my spirit beast. How are we going to settle this? If Lin Yi didn't steal from us first, would I look for trouble with him? Steal from you? Lin Yi smiled. I say, sect leader did you forget what you said before? You said that once this spirit beast is contributed, whether it lives or dies, no matter what happens, it has nothing to do with you. You said that yourself, right? Plus, I didn't take the spirit beast from your hands for nothing. Didn't I give you a spirit medicine fruit? You. Sect leader was speechless by Lin Yi's words. Indeed, he did say this to swindle a treasure from the Hidden Han family, but at that time, he said it casually as a joke. He didn't think that this purple lightning wind thunder beast could be stolen by Lin Yi. Old Master Zhao. Everyone present heard this, right? As the organizer of the Hidden House Summit, shouldn't you take some measures when someone is being so unreasonable? Lin Yi laughed coldly, ignoring the sect leader and turning to Elder Zhao. Elder Zhao, you're right. Of course, sect leader you did say this back then. This spirit beast was contributed by you. No matter what happens, it has nothing to do with you. Old Man Zhao said, Otherwise, why would the Hidden Han family take out treasures to give you? Elder Zhao was a little pissed off at sect leader as well. He said that he could kill Lin Yi, but what happened in the end? Not only did you not kill Lin Yi, but you also let Lin Yi get first place. Would I put my face as the host? This entire Hidden House Summit was set up for Lin Yi alone, allowing him to be in the limelight. Moreover, Elder Zhao didn't care who the spirit beast belonged to. Anyway, the spirit beast wasn't his, and he didn't lose anything. Sect leader really wanted to pull out his tongue. Why was he so despicable before? Why did he say that? Now, in order to scheme for a little treasure of the Hidden Han family, he lost his own spirit beast. The gains really didn't make up for the losses. All right, I'm going to receive the prize. If you don't want to die, then scram. Lin Yi glared at sect leader This guy was only an Earth-class mid-stage peak expert. Lin Yi didn't put him in his eyes. Lin Yi didn't dare to be too presumptuous towards those heaven-class elders. But he didn't care about trash like sect leader at all. Seeing that Lin Yi wasn't moved by force or persuasion, sect leader had no choice but to place his hopes on the purple electric wind thunderbeast. He carefully walked over and communicated with it. However, before sect leader could finish, the purple electric wind thunderbeast gave him a smack on the butt and turned around to receive the prize with Lin Yi. Sect leader was angry and hateful, but there was nothing he could do. He shook his head, hugged his disciple's body, and temporarily retreated to think of a way. He wasn't willing to let Lin Yi take away the purple electric wind thunderbeast just like that, so he had to think of a way. Plus, his two disciples' lives were in Lin Yi's hands. How could he just let it go? Lin Yi took his bet and looked at the Hidden House Pie and the Firewolves. The Hidden House Pie took out 2 portions of the body refining elixir, while the Firewolves took out that weird 01 elixir. So, Lin Yi took out 4 items and traded with them. Elder Pai wasn't here, so Pai Jishan was in charge of House Pai. He wasn't in the mood to haggle with Lin Yi, so he took the items Lin Yi gave him and left in a hurry. He was worried about his brother's safety and didn't know if he could be cured. Chapter 21:47. But Lin Yi didn't bother with him. Since the beast had already submitted, he could say whatever he wanted. If Gone Mountain Sect had enough to move the beast, it would have submitted a long time ago. Why would it wait until now to follow Lin Yi? Lin Yi channeled his arts along the way, feeling a little regretful that it wasn't as fast as when Wang Xinyan was by his side. She was like a moving treasure, and even Lin Yi wasn't used to it. I'm going, it's all up to you. Lin Yi opened his eyes and gave an order to the purple lightning beast. He walked towards the door of the cage. Master Wu, open the cage. This purple lightning beast is really scared of me. I've been training for half a day, and it hasn't reacted at all. Being the champion of this tournament is so boring. What arrogance. You've only been inside for half an hour. Don't think that you're the champion for sure. Leader was confused and didn't know what went wrong, but he still scoffed. The one who laughs at the end is the champion. Oh, Lin Yi replied faintly before walking in Han Xiaopa's direction. Gate Master frowned. This Lin Yi was simply ignoring him. This made him extremely unhappy, but there was nothing he could do about it. In the 4th round, the Hidden House Han lasted 31 minutes and 25 seconds, maintaining the lead. Next, let's invite the last contestant, Gone Mountain Sect's disciple, to enter. Old Zhao announced expressionlessly, but in his heart, he was hating. Leader was said it so well before, but he dropped the ball at the last moment. He still wanted the treasure? What the hell? Old Zhao decided not to give it to him. Lin Yi wasn't dead, so what was there to give? Old Yu, Old Tang, and the others all had the same thought. They wouldn't give anything to Gone Mountain Sect. Lin Yi was fine, and even if he didn't get first, he would be second. This Hidden Noble House summit was such a failure. A Gantian Mountain Sect disciple stepped up. This disciple was the one who usually reared the Wind Thunder Beast. Although he didn't establish a contract with the Wind Thunder Beast, he was the disciple who was the most familiar with the Wind Thunder Beast in the Qian Mountain Sect. Hence, it wouldn't be a problem for him to stay for as long as he wanted. Even if it was a day, the Wind Thunder Beast wouldn't attack this disciple. In a moment, go and question the Violet Lightning Tempest Beast. Why didn't he kill Lin Yi? When sect leader would open the cage, he instructed the disciple. All right. The disciple readily agreed and walked into the cage. He was a little displeased as he scolded the Purple Lightning Tempest Beast. Hey, Purple Lightning Tempest Beast, why don't you kill Lin Yi? Did our Ganzhan sect treat you well for nothing? For so many years, I let you cultivate, gave you good food, and let you do some things? If only this disciple spoke nicely. Perhaps the Purple Lightning Tempest Beast wouldn't kill him out of consideration for their old friendship, and would only cripple him. However, the moment he opened his mouth, he questioned him, making the Purple Lightning Tempest Beast really annoyed. Who are you? You're just a small disciple from Ganzhan sect. Giving me food is an order from sect leader Wu. Do you think that you did something? Moreover, it was your Qinshan sect that built the sect at the place where I cultivated. I didn't find trouble with you, and instead became your sect's divine beast for so many years. If I wasn't here, how could your Qinshan sect become a famous sect? With your strength, you only had the strength of a secular family. Not to mention a heaven-grade expert. You didn't even have an earth-grade late-phase peak expert, which was why the Purple Lightning Tempest Beast didn't say a word, slapping over. It directly smacked the Gantian Mountain sect disciple to the ground. He cried out and instantly turned into a meat patty. This Ganzhan sect disciple didn't understand why the Purple Lightning Tempest Beast would betray them and why it would suddenly show its strength. However, he probably wouldn't be able to ask that question in the future. This tragic scene made everyone present dumbfounded. Before this, the most tragic ones were Pai Zhihai and the Fire Wolfgang disciple. As for Lin Yi, he was an accident. However, compared to the Ganzhan sect disciple being smacked to death by the Purple Lightning Tempest Beast, it wasn't much of an accident at all. With Jinsha, sect leader was shouted out in grief. Jinsha was one of the more valued disciples in Ganzhan's sect. If not, he wouldn't have let him come into contact with the purple lightning tempest beast. However, he was smacked to death by the purple lightning tempest beast. Sect leader was simply couldn't believe it. The others looked at one another, not knowing what Qinshan's sect was doing. Lin Yi didn't die, but their own disciple died. Could it be that sect leader Wa and the purple lightning beast didn't communicate clearly, and the purple lightning beast misunderstood, thinking that it was their disciple that was killed? Thinking of this, the elders and sect leaders who participated in the competition felt that they were lucky. It seemed that the purple electric storm beast wasn't easy to communicate with. If the purple electric storm beast misunderstood them as killing their disciples, they would be in trouble. Purple lightning tempest beast, what do you mean? I asked you to kill Lin Yi. How did you kill our Ganzhan's sect disciple? Sect leader were roared angrily. The purple lightning tempest beast looked at sect leader with furious expression and didn't even bother with him. A small cultivator dared to point fingers at it? One had to know that it was an ancient spiritual beast with the bloodline of a divine beast. If it was an amazing cultivator like Lin Yi who could help it level up scolding it, then forget it. But what did sect leader have to do that? How dare he be so arrogant? Roar! The purple lightning tempest beast rolled its eyes and slapped out directly. The cage was broken directly. Then, the purple lightning tempest beast ran to Lin Yi's side and looked at Lin Yi with a flattering look. Not bad. Lin Yi touched the fluff on the forehead of the purple lightning tempest beast and said, "Roar, roar." The purple lightning tempest beast nodded repeatedly as if it enjoyed it. It had to please Lin Yi. It had the same thought as the original Sky Thunder Pig. It was too slow to level up. This Lin Yi was able to help it level up, which meant that he was someone with great supernatural power. Even those almighties in ancient times didn't have such abilities. Therefore, the purple lightning tempest beast subconsciously respected Lin Yi. Human martial artists respected the strong, even more so for spiritual beasts. Otherwise, spiritual beasts wouldn't have such a strict level suppression system. However, there weren't many human cultivators who could make spiritual beasts admire. The purple lightning tempest beast was a proud divine beast. At this time, it was completely shocked by the supernatural power that Lin Yi displayed. To be continued. RQ. Chapter 2148. If the previous situation was already very shocking, then now that the purple electric tempest beast had run to Lin Yi's side to curry favor with Lin Yi, the shock it gave them was far greater than before. Why did the purple lightning beast betray the Qian Mountain sect to curry favor with Lin Yi? What did that mean? When Han Tianba and Han Xiaoba saw the violet lightning beast running towards Lin Yi, their hearts tightened. They never imagined that the violet lightning beast would bow to Lin Yi. Lin Yi, so it was you. Sect Master reacted the fastest. He seemed to have understood something at once, and jumped up. He pointed at Lin Yi and hollered, "What did you do to our Qinshan sect's spirit beast?" "Me?" Lin Yi shrugged. "I don't think there's a rule against tampering in this spirit beast competition, right?" This sect leader was taken aback. Indeed, there was no such rule in the tournament. After all, when he set up the rule, he never thought that someone would actually be able to do anything to the Wind Thunder Beast. The Wind Thunder Beast was an ancient spiritual beast. Whoever dared to do anything to it must be tired of living. However, Lin Yi tampered with it, and he did it very thoroughly. Not only was he fine, but he also let the purple electric wind and thunder beast kill the Qian Mountain sect disciple. Wu Jinsha, Old Master Zhao, now that the results of the competition are out, can you announce it? Lin Yi faintly said. In fact, he hadn't thought that he would be able to subdue an ancient spirit beast so easily. But this was also good. This was equivalent to having one more trump card. This purple lightning wind beast seemed very powerful. Lin Yi didn't know whether it could contend against a heaven rank expert. Ahem, of course. Although Old Man Zhao felt that this matter was very magical, and he was also very unwilling for Lin Yi to pick up a spirit beast for no reason, he still announced the last additional test match. The champion was the Hidden Han family. The second is the Fire Wolf Gang. The third is the Hidden House Pie. please come and collect your winnings. Wait a minute. Lin Yi, you have to explain things clearly. What did you do to the spirit beast? How could sect leader will let it go like this? He stretched his hand out. She stood in front of Lin Yi. You took advantage of me and stole my spirit beast. Are you sick? Are you a sore loser? Lin Yi glanced at Gate Master Wa and said coldly, Old man Zhao, in the Hidden House Summit, if someone comes looking for trouble in private, what will happen? We will naturally report this matter to the ancient sect. Old man Zhao was taken aback. Although he was unwilling, he could only brace himself and say, we will naturally report this matter to the ancient sect. Maybe he's nearby. They can't detect a peak late-stage heaven rank expert. Therefore, it was impossible for Old Master Zhao to openly say something that went against his principles. Old Master Zhao, sect leader, would cupped his fists and said, This Lin Yi swindle my spirit beast. How are we going to settle this? If it wasn't for Lin Yi snatching our Gantian Mountain sect's things, why would I bother him? Steal your things? Lin Yi laughed. I say, Sect Master Wall, have you forgotten what you said before? What you're saying is that once this spirit beast is contributed, whether it lives or dies, no matter what happens, it has nothing to do with you. You're the one who said this, aren't you? Furthermore, I didn't take the spirit beast from your hands for nothing. Didn't I give you a spirit herb fruit? Sect Master was rendered speechless by Lin Yi's words. Indeed, he had said this in order to swindle a treasure hidden in the hands of the Han family, but he had said it casually, as a joke. He had never thought that the purple electric tempest beast might be abducted by Lin Yi. Old Master Zhao, everyone present heard this, right? As the organizer of the Hidden House Summit, shouldn't you take some measures when someone is being so unreasonable? Lin Yi laughed coldly, ignoring the sect leader and turning to Elder Zhao. Elder Zhao, you're right. Of course, sect leader you did say this back then. This spirit beast was contributed by you. No matter what happens, it has nothing to do with you. Old man Zhao said, Otherwise, why would the Hidden Han family take out treasures to give you? Old Master Zhao was also angry at this sect Master Wa. You said it so well, saying that you could kill Lin Yi, but in the end, not only did you not kill Lin Yi, you even let Lin Yi get the championship. Where would I put my face as the organizer? This entire Hidden Family Summit was set up for Lin Yi alone, allowing him to be in the limelight. Moreover, Old Master Zhao didn't care who the spirit beast belonged to. Anyway, the spirit beast wasn't his, and he didn't lose anything. Sect Master really wanted to pull out his tongue. Why was he so cheap before? Why did he say that? Now, in order to scheme for a little treasure of the Hidden Han family, he lost his own spirit beast. It really wasn't worth it. All right, I'm going to receive the prize. If you don't want to die, then get the hell away from me. Lin Yi glared at Sect Master Wa. This guy was only an Earth-class mid-stage peak. Lin Yi didn't put him in his eyes. Lin Yi didn't dare to be too presumptuous towards those heaven-class elders, but he didn't care about Sect Master Wa at all. Seeing that Lin Yi wasn't moved by force or persuasion, Sect Master Wa had no choice but to place his hopes on the purple electric wind and thunder beast. He carefully walked over and communicated with it. But before Sect Master Wa could finish, the purple electric wind and thunder beast gave him a smack on the butt. It turned around and went with Lin Yi to receive the prize. Sect Master Wa was angry and hateful, but there was nothing he could do. He shook his head and hugged his disciple's body. He had to think of a way to let Lin Yi take the purple electric wind and thunder beast away. He wasn't willing to just let it go like that. Plus, his two disciples' lives were in Lin Yi's hands. How could he just let it go? Lin Yi took his stake and looked at the Hidden House Pie and the Firewolves. The Hidden House Pie was still taking out 2 portions of the body refinement, while the Firewolves were taking out that weird 0-1 elixir. So, Lin Yi took out 4 random items and traded with them. Elder Pie wasn't here, so Pai Jishan was in charge of House Pie. He didn't have the heart to bargain with Lin Yi. He took the items Lin Yi gave him and left in a hurry. He was worried about his brother's safety, and he didn't know if he could be cured. And Mingyue, on the other hand, was expressionless. Lin Yi traded with him and walked to the side. He didn't say anything, as if the Fire Wolf's disciples' safety had nothing to do with him. Chapter 2149. Now I announce that the Hidden Noble House Summit has officially ended. After everyone received their bets, Old Master Zhao announced to everyone, "If you want to stay here as a guest, the Hidden Zhao family will do our best as a host and take you to visit the famous historical sites near East Ocean City. If you don't want to stay here, then you can leave after dinner in the conference hall and go through the procedures." Linny frowned when he heard that he had to go to the meeting hall to do the paperwork after dinner. As far as he was concerned, he was going to pack his things and go home after the tournament. He didn't expect there to be so many rules. However, since it was the Hidden Noble House Summit's rules, Lin Yi didn't plan on breaking them. If he forced his way out, it would give old Zhao and the others an excuse to attack him. Lin Yi could only bear with it. Boss, now the competition was over. Although the joy of victory was intoxicating, Han Xiaopa also thought about safety. We've won so many matches in a row. These people won't harm us, right? It's hard to say. Lin Yi wasn't optimistic either. He nodded honestly. If I didn't reveal my trump card, then they wouldn't dare to attack us. But now, boss, didn't you say that you felt like you could instantly kill a Sky-class early phase? Han Xiaopa heard Lin Yi's words and felt his heart tighten. We haven't even fought before. I was just saying it casually. Do you think they'll believe me? Lin Yi shook his head. Let's take it one step at a time. I still have a trump card that I haven't used yet. Let's see how they react. Plus, the purple lightning beast isn't bad. It'll be our helper. Sigh, we're weak without power. Han Xiaopa said helplessly. It's all because our Hidden Han family is too weak. You can't say that. It might not be a problem. Lin Yi turned around and looked coldly at old Zhao and the others. These people really did want to harm him. They just didn't dare to show it in public during the Hidden Noble House Summit. But Lin Yi was afraid of being ambushed by these people on the way out of the Zhao family's manor. Needless to say, these people really did want to do that. Why did Old Master Zhao set the rule that they could only leave after dinner? That was exactly what he was planning. Actually, the Hidden House Summit had already ended, so there was no need to make things so complicated. It's 3 o'clock in the afternoon now, and it'll be 4:30 in a while. We'll start the banquet in the banquet hall on time. I've invited everyone to discuss some matters together, Old Man Zhao said to the old man and the sect leader. Those who were not present and had already left, Old Man Zhao would also send disciples to inform them. Of course, this did not include the Hidden Han family. Everyone nodded. They knew what Old Master Zhao wanted to discuss, but they didn't say much. Everyone had different feelings, and they all had to go back and calm down. Hidden in a side hall of the Zhao Manor, Zhao Yaowang calmly felt Pai Zhihai's pulse and said, "I've been a doctor for half my life. I've seen something like this before. Is there a solution?" Old Man Pai quickly asked. "I don't have a way." But Zhao Yaowang purposely kept them in suspense. "So you're saying that there's a way?" Old Man Pai was overjoyed. "There's a way, but there's no way." Zhao Yaowang shook his head. "There's no way." "What do you mean?" Old Man Pai paused. "Yaowang, please tell me if you can cure Zhihai. I'll pay any price in treasure." "It's not about treasures and money. The key is that the person who can cure him is an enemy of House Pai, and he wants Zhihai to die," Zhao Yaowang said faintly. "If you beg him, other than getting humiliated, there won't be any results." "Enemy?" Old Man Pai paused, unable to react. "Who does our Hidden House Pai have enemies with? We don't usually have enemies, right?" It's that Lin Yi," Zhao Yaowang said. "Only that Lin Yi can help people dissolve qi. But I was hit by a similar trick before, but it was much lighter than Pai Zhihai's. Lin Yi didn't help me either. So this matter, even if there's a way, there's no way." Zhao Yaowang purposely didn't say that although he was hit by someone else's qi, it was Lin Yi's. He was asked by Old Man Zhao to increase Old Man Pai's hatred towards Lin Yi. Out of all the Sky-class masters, only Old Man Pai didn't have a clear stance on dealing with Lin Yi. Against Lin Yi, one more Sky-class master meant one more hope. So Old Man Zhao wanted to get Old Man Pai on his side. Zhao Yaowang actually didn't know if Lin Yi could cure him or not. He was just making things up. That Old Man Pai's heart skipped a beat. Lin Yi really didn't have a good impression of the Hidden House Pai. asking for Lin Yi to cure him. Zhao Yaowang was right. He'd probably be rejected. Otherwise, if Lin Yi was willing to cure him, why didn't he say anything before? Even if he asked for more treasures, Old Man Pai would have agreed. But Lin Yi didn't do anything, which indirectly proved Zhao Yaowang's words. Thinking up to this point, Old Man Pai's heart was filled with hatred, but it disappeared as quickly as it came. He was a smart man, and of course he could tell that Zhao Yaowang was trying to get him a deal with Lin Yi. But Old Man Pai was thinking about something else. Hidden House Pai did lose some masters in Lin Yi's hands, but that wasn't important. They weren't the direct descendants of Hidden House Pai, so the hatred between Hidden House Pai and Lin Yi could still be resolved. If he were to lower himself a little and think of a way to get to Pai Zhihai's good side, he might actually be able to help Pai Zhihai. Although killing Lin Yi would be a temporary relief, in the long run, it was still better to reconcile with Lin Yi. Old Man Pai, in the end, it's all about that Lin Yi. The hatred between your Hidden House Pai and Lin Yi can't be resolved. So many people died in Lin Yi's hands, and Lin Yi doesn't like your Hidden House Pai. Do you think he'll help you? Zhao Yaowang continued. So, the most important thing now is to think of a way to kill Lin Yi. Chapter 2150. Of course, if Lin Yi really dies, then the Hidden House you would be happy and might contact the Sky Elixir sect for you. Zhao Yaowang reminded him. The Sky Elixir sect is a big medical sect. They must have a way to cure your grandson's condition. Elder Pai's footsteps paused for a second, but he quickly walked out of the side palace, returning to his temporary hiding place in House Pai. Pai Zhishan was already back, panicking when he didn't see his grandpa and brother. A disciple from the Hidden House, Zhao, came to tell him to go to the banquet hall at 4:30, but he wasn't in the mood, so he just brushed the disciple off. Grandpa! Zhishan looked up and saw his grandpa carrying his brother. Zhihai. Elder Pai shook his head and put Zhihai on the bed. House Zhao Yaowang couldn't do anything, then wouldn't my brother? Zhishan was shocked. He was close to Zhihai since he was young, and if Zhihai was crippled, then it would affect his control of House Pai when he became the head of the house. It's not that there's no way. There is a way. Elder Pai frowned, as if thinking about something. Grandpa, what is it? You look like you're in a difficult position. Why don't you tell me and let me analyze it for you? Zhishan asked carefully. All right, I'll tell you, and you can help me. Elder Pai nodded. Here's the thing. And so Elder Pai told Zhishan everything Zhao Yaowang told him, hoping that he could come up with some suggestions. So you're saying that both Lin Yi and the Sky Elixir sect can cure him? Zhishan frowned after hearing his grandpa's words. That's right, but I don't know how reliable it is. Elder Pai wasn't an idiot. Although Yaowang said that it was up to him whether or not he believed him. Zhishan, what do you think? Grandpa, I think that Zhao Yaowang is purposely trying to increase the hatred between House Pai and Lin Yi. Pai Zhishan analyzed objectively. However, I'm not sure if Lin Yi can be saved, but the Heavenly Elixir sect, I'm afraid that even if they can, they won't. Oh? Why do you say that? Old Man Pai nodded and asked approvingly. Old Master Zhao also said that refining natural qi is a dangerous thing that consumes one's own strength to help others. What benefits can we offer to make the Heavenly Elixir School help us? Pai Zhishan sneered. How did Medicine King Zhao recover from this qi? He didn't say, but he definitely wasn't cured by Heavenly Elixir sect. What about Lin? Old Man Pai was gratified. Pai Zhishan was becoming more and more like a leader under his tutelage. His thinking was more and more comprehensive, without his own emotions. Pai Zhishan said, I can't say for Lin Yi, but since Medicine King Zhao mentioned it, it can't be fake. If we ask around, we should be able to find out. There's no benefit in lying to us. There are many ways to increase the hatred between us and Lin Yi. Lying about this will affect House Zhao's reputation. That's right. What do you think? Elder Pai nodded. I think asking Lin Yi is more reliable than asking Heavenly Elixir sect. Even if we don't deal with Lin Yi and Lin Yi can't do it, we can ask Heavenly Elixir sect instead. Pai Zhishan said, Who do you think Heavenly Elixir sect is? Would they give face to House Yu and help us for free? If we can pay the price, they'll help us regardless of House Yu's face. Otherwise, if we can't pay, then no one will be able to help us. Just look at how Elder Yu treats his disciple, and you can see how heartless these pill-making sects are. That disciple participated in the fight, and if he gets hurt, he'll have to heal himself. So you don't agree to deal with Lin Yi? Elder Pai asked. Grandpa, you said before that we, the Hidden House Pai, don't have much of a grudge against Lin Yi. Only a few people died, and they weren't from our Hidden House Pai. Just bear with it, and it'll be over soon. Pai Jishan said, on the other hand, relying on Lin Yi will bring us a lot of benefits. Look at Han Tianba and Han Xiaopa. Who were they before? They were the bottom of the hidden houses, and now? If Lin Yi's fine this time, the Hidden House Han's going to be big in the future, that's for sure. Jishan, you're not bad, Elder Pai said. You can see this clearly, which means you have the vision of an heir. I didn't waste my effort in raising you. It's also because of Grandpa's pointers during the tournament that I was enlightened. Pai Jishan said, Grandpa then now. Right, House Zhao's disciples invited us to the banquet hall at 4:30. They must be discussing how to deal with Lin Yi. Let's go see. Elder Pai said, let's listen first. No need to say anything. Okay. Pai Jishan nodded, and the two of them rushed to the banquet hall. The Hidden House Zhao's banquet hall was filled with guests. The elders and heirs of the hidden houses, as well as the heads of their sects, were all here. Of course, that was excluding the Hidden House Han and the disciples who died or got injured in the tournament. It's my honor that everyone can come to this banquet. It brings light to this banquet hall. Old Master Zhao saw that everyone was present, so he stood up and cupped his fists. You're too kind. Elder Zhao and Fire Wolfgangs and Mingwei both stood up to respond. But the elders and heads of the sects who were injured or killed weren't so optimistic. They looked like they were about to cry, but they didn't say much. Everyone should know why I'm hosting this banquet, right? Time was limited, so Elder Zhao went straight to the point. I think that everyone here, whether or not you have a grudge against Lin Yi, have suffered at Lin Yi's hands at this Hidden House Summit. Elder Zhao, do you already have a plan? Old Yu is also Lin Yi's mortal enemy. So after Old Zhao said these words, Old Yu immediately expressed his agreement. Chapter 2151. That's right. Our Hidden House Tang has suffered heavy losses this time. It was originally agreed that we in the House of Yu would get the wager for the 3 matches, but now, he didn't even win a single match. Old Tang Li also said, that Lin Yi is someone this old man must kill. Jin Gang of the Golden Bell clan laughed coldly. Whether he took those things or not, he's still going to get it. It's just that Headmaster you swore that you could get rid of Lin Yi. Why are you dropping the ball at such a crucial time? Oof. You think I don't want to kill Lin Yi? Headmaster will laugh coldly. I want to kill Lin Yi more than you guys, but that Lin Yi used some kind of demonic technique to trick my sect's spirit beast away. Demonic technique? That's because he has the ability. You can't do it, so don't boast. You said it yourself, and you want this old man to stand up for you? In that kind of situation, how could this old man help you? Old Zhao said, if you have the ability, then get the spirit beast back yourself. Old Pai, Old Zhuang, Mister, and what do you say? The old man of the right looked at the 3 of them and asked. Now, only the 3 of them didn't express their opinions. I, Sun Li, was hit by that spirit beast Qi, and I don't know if I'll live or die. I'm not in the mood to think about other things, my apologies. Old Pai shook his head sadly. My strength is only at the peak of Earth Class late phase. I haven't broken through to Sky Class yet. This old man is afraid. I don't dare to go deal with that Lin Yi. Old Zhuang was a cunning old man. He and Lin Yi didn't have any conflict. Why would he go and provoke Lin Yi? Wasn't he sick in the head? I can't represent the Fire Wolves. I'm only here to lead the team. Mingwei said faintly. The last time the Fire Wolves came, they couldn't do anything to Lin Yi. Now that the Fire Wolves and Lin Yi didn't have any conflict, he didn't want to look for trouble. It's nothing, I understand. Elder Zhao sighed in his heart. Actually, he didn't really care about Elder Zhuang and Mingyue's attitude. What he wanted the most was Elder Pai, a heaven-rank expert. After all, it was more useful to surround and kill Lin Yi. Earth-class masters were probably just cannon fodder. Old Pai, don't you want to think about it? Old Yu asked. I, Sun Li, am already like this. Do I still have time to think about anything else? Old Pi shook his head and said, I just want to go back as soon as possible and think about what to do. Old Zhao said helplessly, everyone has their own ambitions. Then we won't force it. Old Zhao said helplessly, looks like it'll be me. Old you, old Tang, old Jean, and old Wu working together to deal with Lin. Everyone, although I won't be participating, there's something I have to remind everyone. That Lin Yi, is he really that easy to deal with? Old Pi naturally didn't want anything to happen to Lin Yi. He wanted to find a chance to visit Lin Yi and ask Lin Yi to heal his Pai Ji Hai. But on the surface, he acted like he cared about everyone. Don't forget, his strength is not inferior to a Sky-class early-phase master, and that spirit beast is even more powerful. Don't forget how my Ji Hai got hurt. He was hit by that spirit beast and had his chi infused. Don't say I didn't warn you. What's wrong, old Pai Li? Are you trying to boost the morale of others? Old Zhao Li frowned. I just don't want anyone to get hurt. After all, Ji Hai's injury is there for all to see. Although I won't be participating, I don't want anything to happen to my old friends. Old Pai said faintly, I'm not participating. What's the point of boosting my morale? What does this have to do with me? Besides, that Lin Yi and my house Pai are mortal enemies. He killed 3 of our masters. Old Pai was on Lin Yi's side, but he couldn't show it. So in the end, he gave an example of the deep hatred between House Pai and Lin Yi. Old Pai and the others are right. That purple lightning tempest beast is indeed a huge hidden danger. Right? Elderly Yi frowned and nodded. Although we are heaven rank experts, if we were to inexplicably be injected with chi into our meridians, it would be very difficult to refine or expel it. With that, Old Pai looked at the Qianshan Sex with Sex Headmaster, trying to tell him that it was all his fault for not being able to kill Lin Yi, and even giving him a helper for free. What the hell was this? This purple lightning beast. Let me think, there should be a way to deal with it. Wu of Qianshan Gate quickly said, I think that Lin Yi must have given it some benefits. But I can give it even greater benefits. Our Qian Mountain sect still has some spiritual beasts passed down from ancient times that can use it to refine pills. Eating one is equivalent to a year's worth of cultivation. When the time comes, I will entangle that purple lightning beast and have sex with it. That's right, if the beast attacks you, this old man can block it. Jean Gang said, this old man has researched it. That beast can't break through my golden bell. At least within 100 moves, it can't do anything to me. All right, if that's the case, then House Yu's elderly Yinny, House Tang's elderly Yinny, and House Yu's elderly Yinny will team up to attack Lin. You guys deal with the purple lightning beast. Old Zhao gritted his teeth. With the 4 of us attacking, that Lin, he won't be able to escape. Old Zhao, are you sure that if we attack, the ancient world won't interfere? The right elder Li Yi hesitated for a moment before asking. This was the problem he was most worried about. You should know that the ancient world had strictly ordered us not to cause trouble in private during the hidden aristocratic family summit. They also didn't allow us heaven rank experts to step into the secular world and show off our might. The Hidden House Summit, isn't it already over? Plus, Lin Yi and the Hidden House Han have left the manor. How is this still considered during the summit? Old Zhao smiled. Old you, you're worried about this, but as the host, I'm more worried about this. But we can find a loophole. But what about stepping into the common world? Old you asked. Chapter 2152. Not bad, that makes sense. Elder you nodded. In law, you're quite smart. You flatter me. I had no choice but to do so. Elder Zhao laughed. All right, let's eat first. Only after we're full will we have the strength to deal with that Lin Yi. Under Elder Zhao's lead, everyone raised their glasses. It didn't matter if they were involved in dealing with Lin Yi or not. They were the losers of this meeting, so they couldn't oppose Elder Zhao's plan. Of course, the Hidden House Pai was an exception. Elder Pai was thinking, not only was he not supporting Elder Zhao's plan, but he was also thinking about how to make it fail. Jishan, Jihai's hurt. He's still in the room. Go check on him. There's nothing else for you to do here. Elder Pai turned and winked at Jishan, believing that with Jishan's intelligence, he should be able to understand what he meant. Yes, Grandpa, I'll go now. Jishan nodded, pausing when he saw Elder Pai's wink. But thinking about what happened before, he understood what Elder Pai wanted him to do, to send a message to Lin Yi. The hidden house, Pai hadn't been able to find a chance to get close to Lin Yi, and this would be the start. Elder Pai and Jihai understood that this could only improve their relationship with Lin Yi, but if they wanted Lin Yi to save them, it would be a bit low. No one thought there was anything wrong with old Master Pai's decision. After all, Pai Jihai was injured, and there was nothing wrong with letting Pai Jishan go back to check on him. Pai Jishan left, and no one paid attention to him. Jishan walked out of the restaurant and quickly went to the hidden house Pai's temporary lodgings. Who knew if the hidden house Zhao's disciples had eyes and ears on him? So he couldn't just go to the hidden house Han's place and send a message. That would expose him. Pai Jishan followed the original plan and returned to his temporary residence to check on Pai Jihai's condition. Pai Jihai was still unconscious. It was obvious that the strange true qi in his body had caused him to go berserk. External cultivators did not cultivate true qi in the first place, so their resistance against true qi was naturally very weak. Thus, just a little bit of true qi was enough to make him unconscious. Of course, this was also because of Pai Jihai's bad luck. This purple Electro-Tempest beast just happened to have such an ability. Otherwise, other cultivators, unless they were heaven rank experts, would be able to use their true qi to materialize. Moreover, not all heaven rank experts could do it. Seeing Pai Jihai's condition, Pai Jishan was even more determined to resolve his grudge with Lin Yi. Pai Jihai was the hope of this generation of House Pai, and he was Pai Jishan's right-hand man. He hoped that when he became the head of the hidden house Pai, he could work with Pai Jihai to make the hidden house Pai stronger. After some thought, Pai Jishan didn't have Lin Yi's contact information, but he did have the contact information of the hidden house Han's elder Han. All the leaders of the hidden houses had their contact information. Pai Jishan found Han Tianba's number and called without hesitation. Han Tianba's voice came from the other side. "Hello. Who is this?" "Elder Han. I'm Pai Jishan from the hidden house Pai. I have something important to report to Mr. Lin Yi," Pai Jishan said. In this temporary residence, he wasn't afraid of others eavesdropping. The soundproofing here was top-notch. Even heaven rank experts wouldn't be able to sense it. After all, this was a guest privacy. House Xiao did a good job in this area, so no one would criticize them. Otherwise, there were many heaven rank elders here. If they all used their senses to sense other houses' activities, then the hidden house summit wouldn't even be held. Pai Jishan, Han Tianba paused. He didn't know why Pai Jishan was calling at this time, but since it was for Lin Yi, he couldn't make the decision himself. He turned to Lin Yi and said, "Mr. Lin, Pai Jishan from the hidden house Pai is calling. He said he has something to report to you." "For me?" Lin Yi hesitated. He had some guesses. Could it be about Pai Jihai? But how did Pai Jishan know that he had a way to cure Pai Jihai? Regardless, Lin Yi took the phone and said, "Pai Jishan, Mr. Lin Yi, it's me. I have something important to tell you." Pai Jishan said quickly. "What is it?" Lin Yi asked calmly. "Mr. Lin, just now in the banquet hall, the hidden house you, the hidden house Zhao, the hidden house you, the hidden house Tang, the Qinshan sect, and the Golden Clock sect have reached an agreement. They're going to intercept you after you leave," Pai Jishan said. He repeated what Elder Zhao and the others had said in the banquet hall to Lin Yi. As expected, Lin Yi's heart skipped a beat. It seemed like Elder Zhao and the others weren't going to let him go. But why was Pai Jishan calling at this time? What was his intention? Was he trying to be friendly? "Pai Jishan, I won't beat around the bush. I don't like to beat around the bush. Tell me why you're calling me," Lin Yi said. "Mr. Lin, to be honest, my grandpa didn't agree to Elder Zhao's proposal. The hatred between you and the hidden house Pai isn't that deep. Like we said before, it's all because of the common Xiao family. There's actually no deep hatred between us. The people who died were all because of the common Xiao family, and they weren't even direct descendants of the hidden house Pai. So, there's no need for us to go against you, Mr. Lin." Pai Jishan said. "That's it? That's all?" Lin Yi asked. "Yes. There's more." Pai Jishan didn't want to say this time. After all, he had to take steps to build a relationship with Lin Yi, and he couldn't just say it all at once. But since Linny asked, he couldn't hide it. Actually, Jihai and I saw that Han Xiaopa became your boss, and that the hidden house Han got stronger as well. We were envious, and we wanted you to be our boss as well, so that you could protect our hidden house Pai. Lin, he found it funny when he heard Pai Jishan's words. This Pai Jishan wasn't an idiot. He wanted Lin Yi to heal Jihai, but he couldn't just say it out loud. Instead, he came up with an excuse. If Lin Yi agreed, then Jihai would be his follower. How could he just leave him be? Chapter 2153. This, Pai Jishan was embarrassed, but he was eager to save his brother, so he could only say, if boss can cure him, Jihai is actually very powerful too. I heard that Wu Qintian from the common house Wu is boss's follower. I can guarantee that Jihai's godly fist is even more powerful than Wu Qintian's iron fist. Oh, so I still have to cure him? Lin Yi said, amused. Then do you want to save him, or do you want to be boss? Choose one. Pai Jishan's mind raced as he thought about Lin Yi's question, but very quickly, he understood what Lin Yi meant. Lin Yi was testing if he really wanted to be boss, or if he wanted to use this opportunity to cure Jihai. To be honest, Pai Jishan calling Lin Yi boss was just a spur of the moment, but he suddenly thought about the power of Hidden House Han. Han Xiaopa was such a weak person before, but now he suddenly became an Earth-class early-phase master, and was even more powerful than Pai Jishan. He was tempted. Plus, after saying this, Pai Jihai couldn't stop himself, and couldn't wait to get close to Lin Yi. Who was Lin Yi? He was someone who gave so many elders and sect masters headaches, and if Hidden House Pai could get close to him, they would definitely not be at a disadvantage. Besides, Hidden House Pai was different from Hidden House Han. Hidden House Pai was an old noble house, and according to the rules of the Hidden House Council, they couldn't go against each other openly. That was why these people thought of using the Hidden House Summit to deal with Hidden House Han. It was already so troublesome to deal with Hidden House Han, let alone Hidden House Pai. Most importantly, the Hidden House Pai had a backer in the ancient plane, and this was an advantage they had over the Hidden House Han. Even if the Hidden House U and House U wanted to destroy the Hidden House Pai, they would have to think about the benefits of the masters behind them. The Holy Fist Palace was not to be trifled with. Of course I'll call him boss. Pai Jishan thought it through. If he called him boss, why would he worry about saving him? Oh, I'll think about it. I'll observe for a while. Lin Yi said. Before knowing the true intentions of House Pai, Lin Yi wouldn't agree so easily. He wouldn't just accept anyone who came to surrender. If they couldn't show their sincerity, what kind of surrender was that? All right, thank you, Boss Lin. Pai Jishan took advantage of the situation and called Lin Yi boss. Lin Yi boss, when you and the Hidden House Han leave, our Hidden House Pai will go with you. Lin Yi sighed, no need. If that's the case, don't expose yourselves. I'm confident that I'll be able to leave this time. You can help me get some information from House Pai. All right, then I'll listen to Boss Lin Yi. Pai Jishan said, this is my phone number. When Boss Lin Yi leaves the manor, if there's any trouble, call me and we'll go and help. All right, Lin Yi said lightly. After hanging up, Lin Yi saved Pai Jishan's number in his phone, then looked at Han Tianba and Han Xiaopa. Pai Jishan told them that when we leave, the Hidden House Zhao and a few other houses are going to deal with us. Boss, what should we do? Han Xiaopa also heard the phone conversation. Pai Jishan came to surrender. Is he sincere or not? I'm not sure yet, but it doesn't sound fake. He asked me about Pai Jihai. The benefits of the other houses are not as important as Pai Jihai's safety to the Hidden House Pai. Lin Yi said, I'm afraid it's not fake, but it's not a big deal. We'll just leave like normal in a bit. Just follow my orders. Yes, boss. Han Xiaopa trusted Lin Yi blindly. If Lin Yi said there was a way, then there must be a way. After dinner, Lin Yi, Han Tianba, and Han Xiaopa went to the meeting room. Other than Elder Zhao, there were also Elder Yu, Elder Tang, Elder Pai, Gate Master Wa, and Gate Master Jin. Elder Zhuang and Ming Yue and the others weren't there. Obviously, they didn't want to get involved. Elder Pai, on the other hand, was here to continue being a spy. Elder Zhao, we're here to do the paperwork. We'll be leaving tonight, Han Tianba said. Haha, Elder Han, you don't want to stay for a few more days? Elder Zhao asked politely. No, we're from Donghai City too. We've seen all the sights, so we won't be going. Han Tianba smiled coldly in his heart, but didn't show it on his face. All right then, I won't keep you here. Elder Zhao quickly handed a pass to Han Tianba and said, there are many family heads and sect leaders here. Forgive me for not sending you off. Elder Han, with this pass, you could go anywhere you like. Elder Zhao said, since there are many family heads and sect leaders here, please forgive me for not sending you off. Thank you very much. Han Tianba didn't say much and took the pass. Right, Elder Yu, there's something I want to remind you about. Lin stopped abruptly and turned to Elder Yu. I'm friends with you, Bing. I don't want to see you being used by others without realizing it. Oh, what do you mean? Elder Yu frowned and looked at Lin. Lin, what are you talking about? This is House Zhao's meeting room. Don't talk nonsense. Elder Zhao thought that Lin had seen through their alliance, so he was trying to sow discord. Haha, Elder Zhao, I haven't even said anything yet, and you're not willing? Are you feeling guilty? Lin smiled faintly. Elder Yu, do you want to know where the Qi gathering pill is? What? Qi gathering pill? Elder Yu's face froze as he asked. Lin, what do you mean by that? Isn't the pill in your hands? I have a Qi gathering pill. Not bad, but I've eaten it already. Lin shrugged. It's impossible for you to get my Qi gathering pill, but there were two in the tomb, one for me, one for Elder Yu. Do you want to know where Elder Yu's pill is? What? There were two? Elder Yu's eyes widened. Where? Lin, what are you talking about? The Hidden House Summit is over, and you're done with the paperwork. You're not welcome here anymore. Elder Zhao raged. Chapter 2154. Haha. Elder Yu, you're a smart man. Can't you tell whose reaction was the most abnormal when I said all this? Lin said faintly, I heard that Elder Zhao broke through to Sky class recently. Congratulations. But it seems like your level hasn't stabilized yet. Do you need medicine to stabilize your level? From what I know, only those who forcefully break through to Sky class with the Qi gathering pill need medicine to stabilize their level. Those who break through naturally will stabilize their level after a long time. They don't need medicine. Lin, you're bullsh ting. Elder Zhao didn't think that Lin would suddenly bring up the matter of him taking house used Qi gathering pill. Elder Zhao, no one here is an idiot. Why are you so agitated? I'm just saying a guess. Lin said faintly, all right, Elder Yu, that's enough. You don't need to think about that Qi gathering pill of mine anymore. I only ate it to see if I could break through to Sky class, but even if I didn't, I still have the ability to fight Sky class. This Qi gathering pill is really good stuff. TSK, Elder Zhao. One day, you'll be able to fight someone stronger than you. Lin, don't try to trick me with words. Elder Yu, this is slander, blatant slander. Elder Zhao was starting to panic. Goodbye. Lin didn't say much and just nodded, walking out of the meeting room with Han Tianba and Han Xiaopa. Elder Zhao, what's going on? It was impossible for Elder Yu to completely believe in Lin Yi, but Lin Yi's words made him suspicious. Indeed, judging from the time, Elder Zhao was the most suspicious, and it matched the characteristics Lin Yi had mentioned. Elder Yu didn't believe that Lin Yi broke through on his own. Breaking through naturally didn't require spiritual medicine to stabilize the level. It would take a long time to stabilize the level. Using spiritual medicine would be a waste of time. However, there was only one situation where one had to use spiritual medicine to stabilize the level, using Qi gathering pills to break through to Sky class. This was because those who used the Qi amassing pill to break through to the heaven stage could no longer absorb the spiritual Qi of heaven and earth for self-cultivation. They could only rely on medicinal herbs to stabilize their realm, and they could only rely on the continuous use of natural treasures to continue advancing. This was also one of the disadvantages of the Qi amassing pill. But even so, Elder Yu was still furious that Yu Shaochen had lost his hope of breaking through to Sky class. He had to demand an explanation. Elder Yu, we're in laws. How can you trust an outsider? Elder Zhao knew that the matter was exposed. and he could only try his best. He hated this Lin Yi. Why didn't he say it earlier or later? Why did he have to say it now? He was just about to bring people to stop Lin Yi, and now this happened. Yeah, Elder Zhao, let's not beat around the bush. Yes means no, don't play dumb. Elder Yu him coldly. Do you need me to find Yu Huaxing and confront him now? That. Elder Zhao panicked. Elder Yu, our priority right now is to deal with that Lin Yi. Don't forget, we have a huge grudge against Lin. He deal with my ass. He didn't take my chi gathering pill. Why would I go deal with him? Do I have nothing better to do? Don't change the topic. Elder Yu was really furious. If Elder Zhao really did take the chi gathering pill, then he would have been fooled. Although, because of the common house Yu and Yuning, the hidden house Yu would never be friends with Lin Yi, but they wouldn't be in such a rush to kill Lin Yi. In comparison, the whereabouts of the chi gathering pill was more important. Elder Yu, let's talk about it. We're in-laws after all. Elder Zhao's forehead was sweating. He knew that this matter had been exposed, and as long as Elder Yu went to confront Shuixing, they wouldn't be able to hide it anymore. But if he admitted it, wouldn't that mean breaking ties with House Yu? And so, after thinking about it, he changed the topic back to Lin. Elder Yu, we're not going to deal with Lin Yi anymore. Let's get this straight first. Lin Yi's matter isn't urgent. The main reason why Elder Yu wanted to kill Lin Yi was because of the chi gathering pill, and now Yu Lu was dead. He didn't even know how he died, and he was basically being used by the Zhaos. How could he be happy? Elder Yu, Elder Tang, Lin Yi has left, and I can't leave for a while. Why don't you go first? Elder Zhao didn't have a choice. This opportunity was fleeting, and if he missed it, he'd be letting Lin Yi go. We go first. Elder Tang and Elder Yu frowned. If Elder Yu and Elder Zhao didn't go, they'd be the only two sky classes. Would they still have the confidence to deal with Lin Yi? Lin Yi said that he could instantly kill a heaven class master. Although it sounded like he was bragging, the things that they thought Lin Yi was bragging had become reality one by one. So, the two of them looked at each other and saw the hesitation in each other's eyes. Elder Tang was a sky class early phase, and his strength wasn't bad, but Elder Yu was much weaker. He practiced the alchemist's mantra, and even if he had the strength of a sky classes, he didn't have the strength and power of a sky classes. In this mission, he would at most be a support, and he could deal with Han Tianba and Han Xiaopa. But to let him face Lin Yi, wasn't that the same as looking for death? Elder Yu wasn't stupid. Without Elder Zhao and Elder Yu, he didn't want to die in vain. Elder Yu, there's something I have to say, and although it's not nice to hear, I still have to say it. Elder Pai said that Lin Yi's strength is extraordinary, and he has the wind, thunder, purple electric beast by his side. If you go, I'm afraid you won't be able to come back. Elder Yu's face changed. Elder Pai's words weren't without reason. If he went, he might really not be able to come back. Seeing Elder Yu's expression, Elder Pai continued. Elder Yui, the Hidden House Pai, originally didn't want to participate in this, but I'm saying this because I don't want anything to happen to you, because after the Hidden House Summit, I might need your help to contact the Sky Elixir sect. I'm afraid only the Sky Elixir sect can solve my grandson, Pai Jihai's problem. Chapter 2155. You're right. Let's forget about it then. Elder Tang was afraid of death as well. It wouldn't be a problem for him to send people after Lin Yi, but if he did it himself, it would be a little scary. Plus, he was leaning towards the idea that if Tang Yu and Lin Yi had a good relationship, it would be a way to hide House Tang's backup. Since everyone was thinking of retreating, there was no need for him to be the bad guy. Elder Tang, Elder Yu, if you guys aren't going, then we... Jin Gang was in a pickle. He hated Lin Yi the most, and if he missed this chance, there wouldn't be another one in the future. Yeah, Elder Yu, Elder Zhao, let's put this matter aside for now, and deal with Lin Yi first, all right? Gate Master of the Qian Mountain Gate was panicking as well. He had the same thought. This was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. I say, Gate Master Jean, Gate Master Wa, if you guys want to go, then go yourself. Elder Yu definitely can't go. Elder Pai purposely didn't mention Elder Yu and Elder Zhao, but changed the topic to Elder Yu so that no one could find any loopholes. They all thought that he really cared about Elder Yu and didn't want anything to happen to him. Put aside? I can't put it aside today. I have to make it clear. Why don't you guys give me a chi gathering pill? Elder Yu smiled coldly at Gate Master Wa and Gate Master Jean. To be fair, if something like this happened to your families, wouldn't you be worried? Would you still have the time to think about other things? This. Gate Master Jean and Gate Master was smiled bitterly at each other. This Lin, he was really good at finding opportunities. He didn't say it earlier or later, but he just had to say it now. Elder Yu's mind was completely on Elder Zhao, and he didn't even want to think about Lin Yi's matter anymore. This was really putting them in a difficult position. Old Master Zhao, do you admit it or not? Elder Yu connected the dots, and the more he thought about it, the more he felt that there was something wrong with Elder Zhao. He couldn't blame Lin Yi for saying that, because it made sense. Elder Yu, calm down first. This. Elder Zhao really didn't know how to explain this. He knew that Elder Yu wouldn't let this go if he didn't give an explanation. Our priority right now is to take down Lin Yi. We'll talk about the rest later. We'll deal with Lin Yi later. The most important thing right now is the Qi gathering pill. Elder Yu waved his hand, frowning. We need to make this clear. Gate Master Wa and Gate Master Jean didn't have any ideas. Originally, they had agreed to work together to deal with Lin Yi. Who would have thought that such a thing would happen? Hey, Sect Leader Jean, it seems like no one is going. Are you going to give up too? Sect Leader Wall had no choice but to look at Diamond Drill. What can I do if I don't give up? Gate Master Jean shook his head helplessly. I have an idea. We can try. Gate Master was said, but it's a bit risky. I wonder if Gate Master Jean is willing to give it a try. What idea? Let's hear it. Diamond Drill wanted to kill Lin Yi, so naturally, you wouldn't let go of any chance. Now it's just the two of us left. We can't act rashly. We can only use our wits. Gate Master was said. Later, you and I will leave the manor and stop Lin Yi. I'll pretend that I want to send the beast off, and then I'll use the chance to convince the beast to become our helper. While I'm convincing the beast, you just need to help guard and make sure Lin Yi doesn't attack me. As long as I convince the beast, we don't need to do anything else. We just need to let the beast help us. With it against Lin Yi, we could just sit back and enjoy the fruits of its labor. Well, we could try this method. Diamond listened to his plan and felt that it wasn't dangerous at all. It was worth a try. Then let's go now, in case that Lin Yi escapes. Yes. Sect Master Wa also nodded. The two of them quickly walked out of the meeting hall and flew out of the manor together. Old Pai looked at the two of them, leaving with a faint sneer. As long as the Heaven Rank Elders didn't make a move, the two of them wouldn't be able to do anything, so Old Pai wasn't worried. Lin Yi, Han Xiaopa, and Han Tianbao walked out of the meeting hall and returned to their temporary lodgings. They brought the purple lightning beast to the parking lot and got into the Mercedes-Benz S600 that they drove earlier. The purple lightning beast was too big and couldn't get into the car, but the beast's speed was comparable to the speed of the wind. It wouldn't be a problem for it to follow the car. Moreover, it was nighttime now. From the outside, the purple Electro Tempest beast looked like a big horse, so it wouldn't attract too much attention. They walked all the way out of the Zhao Manor and came to the private road at the entrance of the Zhao Manor. They hadn't gone far when the road ahead was blocked by a roadblock. Lin Yi frowned. As expected, they still made a move. It was just that his plan to sow discord didn't have the desired effect. Old Zhao and Old Yu didn't fight. However, Lin Yi asked Han Xiaopa to stop the car and looked at the two people behind the roadblock. He smiled. The two people who came were actually the least threatening ones. One was Gate Master of the Qian Mountain Gate, and the other was Jin Gang of the Golden Clock Gate. The two headmasters are in a good mood, aren't you? It's already so late at night, and you're here to send us off? Lin Yi got off the car and looked at the two people in front of him, asking casually. That's right, we're here to send you off. Gate Master had already found an excuse. This purple lightning beast is our Qian Mountain Gate's guardian beast. Although it's leaving with you now, we still have a deep relationship. Can I send it off? Send off the purple lightning beast? Lin Yi paused and frowned. He didn't know what Gate Master was thinking. If he said that he wanted to kill him here, Lin Yi would believe him. But to say goodbye to the purple lightning beast, why did it sound so strange? That's right. We've known each other for so many years. However, I've already said that whatever happens to the purple lightning tempest beast, that's its own business. since it has chosen you and wants to go back with you. I have to bid farewell to it, right? Sect Master Wall nodded as a matter of course. Chapter 2156. Gate Master Jean hesitated for a moment. He didn't expect Lin Yi to ask him. The dialogue they had planned didn't include him, Diamond Drill. However, Diamond Drill reacted quickly and nodded. I'm here to accompany Gate Master Wa. This purple lightning beast has followed Lin Yi, its new master. If you want to use the purple lightning beast to attack Gate Master Wa, I'll use my golden bell shield to help him. Lin Yi was speechless. You really have a sacrificial spirit. Whatever. You guys go say goodbye. I'm in a hurry. Okay. Gate Master saw that Lin Yi agreed and didn't doubt him. He was overjoyed and quickly walked to the side of the purple lightning beast. He lowered his voice and said in beast language, Purple lightning beast, why are you leaving with Lin Yi? What benefits did he promise you? How about this, you follow me back? I can give you the elixir of the sect. Think about it. One elixir is equivalent to a year of cultivation. How about it? If you betray Lin Yi now, I'll give it to you? When the purple lightning beast heard Gate Master's words, it raised its head lazily and gave him a contemptuous look. Then it roared at him, roar. Others couldn't understand, but Gate Master could. The purple lightning beast didn't agree, so he gritted his teeth and increased the bargaining chip. He said, 2. How about 2 elixirs? Roar, roar, roar. The purple lightning beast was a little impatient. If you want to say goodbye, then say goodbye. Why are you wasting time? It also saw that Gate Master was here to say goodbye, but in fact, he was here to instigate it. Originally, the purple lightning beast wanted to give him face and say goodbye because they had known each other for so long. However, it didn't expect this guy to have bad intentions. It didn't even want to pay attention to it. It turned around and directly aimed its butt at Gate Master Wa. With a bang, it let out a loud fart, directly causing Gate Master Wa to tumble and fall 3 meters away. Han Xiaopa couldn't help but laugh out loud. Boss, this Sect Master Wall's way of saying goodbye is really unique. He actually let the purple electric tempest beast fart. Lin Yi also found it a little funny. Looking at Sect Master with sneaky appearance, he could already guess what Sect Master was going to do. He was probably trying to persuade the purple electric storm beast to go back. But now, the purple electric storm beast didn't even care about Sect Master Wa and directly gave him a fart. Sect Leader was shocked by the fart, and his face turned red. However, he didn't dare to scold it and could only endure it. However, he also knew that this purple electric tempest beast was determined to leave with Lin Yi. He didn't know what benefits Lin Yi had given it that it didn't even need a spirit pill. Although Sect Master was unwilling, he had no other choice. He knew that the purple electric tempest beast's fart was a warning to him. If he didn't know what was good for him, then what awaited him wouldn't just be a fart, but a claw. Haha, old man, your way of saying goodbye is really interesting. Sect Master could only mediate for himself. He waved his hand at the purple electric tempest beast. Goodbye. Live a good life in the future. When he said this, his heart was bleeding, but he couldn't do anything about it. Okay, is there anything else? If there's nothing else, we're leaving. Lin Yi glanced at Sect Master Wa and asked. There's nothing else. Sect Master was helpless. He didn't want Lin Yi to leave, but the purple electric tempest beast and Lin Yi were in cahoots. Not to mention that Lin Yi had the purple electric tempest beast. Even if he didn't, he could still kill him in Diamond Drill. So, how could Sect Master dare to act rashly? Han Xiaopa opened the barrier and let Lin Yi's car pass. Han Xiaopa stepped on the accelerator and the car sped away. The purple electric tempest beast quickly followed behind. The unlucky Sect Master had just eaten a fart, and now he had a face full of car exhaust. He angrily cursed, Motherfucker, I don't know what's wrong with this purple electric tempest beast, but it's following Lin Yi. Forget it. Where there's life, there's hope. Diamond Drill shook his head, but he wasn't happy or sad. He was very open-minded. He couldn't take revenge, so it was best not to. He didn't want to become the second Gene Woody. The best thing to do now was to go back and train hard, find an opportunity to break through, strive to improve his strength, and then go after Lin Yi. Otherwise, everything before that was just wishful thinking. Sect Master Wa and Diamond Drill returned to the hidden Zhao family's meeting hall. Old Pai looked at them and asked, "How is it? What's the result?" "Don't mention it. That purple electric tempest beast is determined to follow Lin Yi. I can't do anything about it," Sect Master was said. "It's a good thing you didn't go. Otherwise, if Lin Yi sent the purple electric tempest beast to deal with you, you wouldn't have a good time either." Old Man Yu and Old Man Tang looked at each other and thought that it was a good thing that they didn't go. Gate Master didn't have the confidence to subdue the purple electric wind thunder beast. If they had gone, it would have been 2 against 2 with Lin Yi. Lin Yi could kill a heaven ranker in 1 second, and the purple electric wind thunder beast could deal with a heaven ranker. "Right. Where are Elder Yu and Elder Zhao?" Sect Master suddenly realized that they weren't in the meeting hall. They went to the secret room to discuss. It's not good for us to comment on their interests. It's better for them to discuss it themselves. Elder Yu said, "Yeah, they asked us to be the judge. What do we do?" Elder Tang said, "Let's wait for them to discuss it themselves. Since Sect Master Wa and Sect Master Jean are back, I'll go back first. I'm worried about my grandson. I won't stay for long." Elder Pai stood up and said, "Okay, then let's go back. I reckon that Elder Yu and Elder Zhao won't come to a conclusion tonight. It'll be a waste of time for us to wait." Elder Yu nodded. Thus, the people in the meeting hall dispersed and went back to rest. These people all had their own thoughts. Some were glad, some were regretful. At the end of the day, it was because the conflict between Lin Yi and their families was different. They were also afraid of Lin Yi's power and the purple electric tempest beast's reputation. As a result, the matter was left unsettled for the time being, and Lin Yi got a great deal out of it. The car left the private area of the hidden Zhao Manor and turned onto the road. Lin Yi finally let out a sigh of relief. It seemed that today's matter was over. Chapter 2157. But at that time, it would be more dangerous. What if Elder Yu made a mistake and didn't trust him and attacked him first? That would be more troublesome. Although Lin Yi had a trump card, it would still hurt his life force. Even with the purple lightning beast's help, it wouldn't be smooth sailing. This was because when Lin Yi left the manor, he had already compressed a chi bomb. He had been compressing it since before and hadn't released it yet. This was Lin Yi's other trump card, a chi gathering pill, a chi bomb, and a purple lightning beast. If he still couldn't get out of danger with these 3 things, then it meant that Lin Yi was too unlucky. Chi bombs were best avoided if possible. Using them too much would make them lose their mysteriousness. If he really couldn't do it, then he'd use it to win by surprise. "Boss, what were Headmaster Wa and Headmaster Jean trying to do?" Han Xiaopa breathed out in relief. He was lucky to be able to get out of danger, but he didn't understand what they were playing at the end. Sending off the spirit beast? Headmaster Wa wanted to make the spirit beast defect, and Diamond Drill was his helper, but it didn't work. "It's that simple," Lin Yi explained. "I see. I knew they were up to no good." Han Xiaopa said, "Right, boss. What about the chi gathering pill you told Elder Yu from the hidden house you? You took their chi gathering pills?" "Haha, no, it's like this." Lin Yi didn't hide anything and told Han Xiaopa about the chi gathering pill he got from the tomb. "Haha, I see. This time, the hidden house Yu and the hidden house Zhao are fighting, so they don't have time to bother us." Han Xiaopa realized, but why didn't the hidden house Tang and house Yu come? Why did they only send the 2 people who were the least dangerous? "I'm not sure about that. Perhaps Elder Pai did something. I'll ask him later." Lin Yi was also puzzled why Old Tang and Old Yu didn't come to kill him. If the 2 of them came, things would be more troublesome. At least, it wouldn't be so smooth. But let's not worry about that. After this, our hidden house Han should be able to rest for a long time. Han Xiaopa said, "No matter what, boss. Thank you." "Ha, no need to thank me. I got quite a lot of treasures this time." These things were much more than when they came. They filled up a small box and were placed in the trunk of the car. They were all kinds of heavenly materials and earthly treasures, elixirs, and miraculous medicines. The purple thunderbolt beast was quite smart. Lin Yi looked out of the window and realized that the beast had chosen a place where there were no people around, and it was very fast. No one had noticed it. as expected of an ancient spirit beast with high intelligence. Mr. Lin, should we go back to the hidden Han family first, or do you want to go home directly? Han Xiaopa asked as he drove. Let's go home. We've been away for so long. To be honest, he was still worried about his family. Although he kept in touch with Miss via text every day, he still wanted to go back as soon as possible. He didn't feel anything living with Miss every day, but he missed her and Shu a lot. As for Wang Xinyan and Han Jingjing, Lin Yi's heart was a little worried. He didn't tell Wang Xinyan that he was going to the Hidden House Summit, so he didn't know if she'd be worried or not. As for Han Jingjing, he didn't say anything, but she lived close to Meng Yao. She probably knew about it already. Okay, Mr. Lin, where's your home? Han Xiaopa asked. In the Shueshang district, not far from Donghai Industry University, Lin Yi said. Okay. Han Xiaopa smiled and said, let's go and recognize the door. They returned to the entrance of Lin Yi's villa without any accidents. The purple thunderbolt beast came out of nowhere and ran to Lin Yi's side, crouching beside Lin Yi's feet. Come in and have a seat? Lin Yi invited. Haha, it's okay, boss. We won't disturb your rest. We'll go back first. Han Xiaopa looked at Meng Yao and Yushu coming out of the villa and smiled. He didn't want to disturb them, but in his heart he thought, boss is hiding a mistress in his golden house, and every moment is worth 1,000 gold. Meng Yao and Yushu heard the car and came out to welcome them. They'd received Lin Yi's text saying that he would be back tonight, so they weren't surprised. Han Xiaopa got in the car and left with Han Tianba, leaving only Lin Yi and the purple thunderbolt beast at the entrance. Yao Yao Shu. He looked at Meng Yao and Yushu standing in front of the villa, a strange feeling welling up in his heart. It was as if he was a wife welcoming her husband back from a long trip, but there were two wives in the mix. Shield bro, you're back. Did you bring anything for Shu? Yushu skipped over and saw the purple thunderbolt beast beside Lin Yi. She was curious. Wow, this big dog looks so weird. It even has a horn on its head. Is it a hybrid? Roar. The purple thunderbolt beast was close to Lin Yi, but that didn't mean it was close to other people. It could tell that this person had a close relationship with Lin Yi, but how could it tolerate someone insulting it like this, calling it a big dog and a hybrid at that? So, the sudden roar wasn't just to express its dissatisfaction, but also to scare Yushu and make her behave. Fuck, you're acting all high and mighty, you stupid dog. Yushu was pissed as well. Shield Bro brought you back, so you must be Shield Bro's follower. How dare you act all cocky in front of your little wife? Yushu yelled. General Weiwu, come out. Shield Bro's little wife is being bullied by a stupid dog. Woof woof. A black shadow jumped out from the back of the villa with a cute little pig beside it. Roar? The purple thunderbolt beast's eyes widened when it saw the two mystic late phase peak spirit beasts. The two stood on Yushu's left and right as if they were protecting their mistress. The purple thunderbolt beast was dumbfounded. Woof woof. Oink oink. General Weiwu and the pig glared at the purple thunderbolt beast. Were you looking for a beating? You dare bully Yushu? Roar roar. The purple electric tempest beast laughed awkwardly, meaning that it was just joking. This fellow finally understood why this little girl was so awesome. She even dared to call it a broken dog. Compared to these two spirit beasts, it was indeed the most trashy. If it wasn't broken, who would be? You're tuning in to the Romance Rendezvous YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.